The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
What?
let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Sport!
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. On this overreaction, Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, December 26th, brought to you by Verizon. This program starts now.
Football!
Happened in a spectacular fashion over the last 3 beautiful days. We hope you had a great Christmas weekend. We hope the gifts were great. We hope the family was fantastic. And we hope your team was terrific for you. Whether that's right now as 24 teams still eye the playoffs and have hopes and optimism that their season can continue after they've played their 17th game in just 2 weeks from now.
Wow!
That ties for the most amount of teams still available with 2 weeks left since 2004. They had 26 or something like that.
Damn.
It's an insane time for the NFL, obviously, and there were some teams that made some statements, weren't they?
Oh, yeah?
How about the Ravens, the Dolphins,
What?
the Lions,
What?
Raiders get their first massive win over the Kansas City Chiefs in forever, knocking them into the, oh no, is a dynasty dead? There's a lot to talk about on this glorious overreaction Aaron Rodgers Tuesday. Aaron will be joining us in about an hour and 4 minutes. Kendrick Perkins, Big Perk, will be joining us in about 44 minutes to let us know that the NBA happened yesterday.
Yes, it did.
Oh, yeah. Did?
Yeah, so everybody was talking about Zay Flowers, doing the Grinch celebration.
Mm-hmm.
Ho,
Yep.
ha. I thought maybe that was Roger Goodell
Oh.
coming in and saying Christmas is ours now, you know what I mean? And it would be a 3-fer because it is 24 hours. NFL dominates.
Crush.
Okay, the NFL dominates Christmas now, and I assume there was a big NBA contingency that was watching alongside these NFL games. But whenever you're talking about having the Ravens take on the San Francisco 49ers in a potential Super Bowl preview, you're talking about the NFL scheduling this thing far in advance and it hitting a home run.
Yeah.
But with that being said, a lot happened in the NBA yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
We'll talk to Kendrick Perkins in about 43 minutes or so. Can't wait to chat with him. 16-year NBA vet. People forget because they hear him snoring to a microphone and stuff.
Yep,
That's right.
And he says, racist stuff every once in a while with good intent, though. I don't think he ever means. We love him on this particular program.
Yes.
Love Big Perk.
The best.
Can't wait to chat with him. And then the third hour on ESPN and ESPN Plus, which we're the kings of daily, which I'm learning more and more every single day. Shout out to the ESPN Plus viewers. Adam Schefter will join us.
Okay.
Oh, Shefty.
Okay, let's dive right in. Talks tables here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Love a nice taste of freedom on your chest today. The day after Christmas. Hope you had a great one.
Yeah, thank you very much, Pat. Hope you had a great one, too. This is actually a Zito gift about a month ago. He said, hey, I found this shirt in the closet. I think you should have it. It's the same company that we've been buying them from this entire time. But, yeah, it was wonderful. It was a great Christmas weekend. You mentioned the Chiefs, and I kind of mentioned this earlier. Patriots and the Patriots fans in general have kind of ruined football for Kansas City, and I feel bad for them because they think they should, especially in December, which is the most important football, they think they should be blowing teams out. Unfortunately, not every team can go to the AFC Championship every single year like New England did for 9 years from 2011 to 2018. But again, that is beside the point. The football all weekend was incredible.
Unrealistic expectations are coming from people watching the New England Patriots did what they did for as long as they did with Tom and Bill throwing their fastest pitches or whatever. It's the first season that Patrick's not going to end up with 12 wins.
Oh, crazy.
A eye opener, obviously. And they're talking about on the road playoff game. We're all wondering after watching them, is this team broke?
Yeah.
Is this like a year where it's reset? Like, hey, still going to be good in the future. They got Andy Reid. They got Patrick Mahomes. Okay, they're going to be able to figure it out. But what we're watching, and I'm probably the last guy in media saying this. Because I've held on hope that we're getting in the Chiefs season. Oh, Santa Claus is coming to town.
Yeah.
That means it's Chiefs season. That's what it has been over recent history.
Bingo.
Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce doing absurd shit on 3rd and longs. Oh, we need it, gotta have it. Well, Travis is running some route that isn't a real route. Nobody really understands what's going on. Patrick Mahomes is running backwards, and then he's just throwing it somehow.
Yep.
And we got a first down all of a sudden with 27 seconds left, and the Chiefs are down 4. And then boom, boom, bang, pow, touchdown. We're moving along. And a lot of people want to say, they haven't been the same since Tyreek Hill. They won a Super Bowl without Tyreek Hill.
They did.
Okay, so I appreciate how good Tyreek Hill is. And shout out to the Dolphins with their massive win over the Cowboys. We will certainly have to talk about everything they're doing. And Tyreek, if he goes for 2,000 yards, which is still possible, even though he only got 99 the other day, he deserves a conversation to be in the MVP. So I'm not saying Tyreek isn't great, but this Chiefs team has been able to figure it out multiple times. So all of us that had hope that they would continue to do that or go on to do the same things that they've been doing in the past, I don't think it was dumbfounded. I don't think it was misguided. But I'll tell you what, after watching them on Christmas Day perform the way they played, I don't know if Chiefs season's coming.
I don't know either.
I don't know if
Doesn't
it's
feel
Chiefs
like it.
season.
What is?
It's Chiefs isn't the Chiefs.
Yes.
They're doing stuff that they've been doing the entire time at a much lower rate than they've ever done it before. This never happens in the past with the Chiefs because they practiced it, they executed it, they didn't put it in until they did it like 15, 20 times in practice. Everybody feels good about it. This year, there's just stuff happening. Now, it was incredibly windy yesterday. I don't think enough people were chatting about that whenever there were some drops or maybe a late throw and a pick happens and Jack takes another one to the house right in the face of Patrick Mahomes. And not even the same reaction from Patrick Mahomes as, picks in the past. It's like maybe this Chiefs team, and then guy was going to steal the ball. He's not a Rich.
Yep, that's right.
Although we all wish he would have done that to the kid. Just would like to go on the record of saying, if he does that and then pulls it away from the kid, laughs in the kid's face, and then walks away, hey, sports, baby.
That's right.
Hey, that's sports. Now, he wanted to come out and say, I'm not that guy. There's been some other stuff maybe.
Sure.
But I am not that guy, which we do appreciate. Merry Christmas to him. But I don't think the Chiefs team is the Chiefs team.
No.
And that worries me because I like this Chiefs team. I like how much fun they are. I like that the Swifties were getting involved. I liked how big it was all going to become, especially with how they play in the playoffs. How Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Andy Reid, and all the boys play in the playoffs. Electrifying football. I think they're dead.
There's a chance. Like the
It's overreaction, Aaron Rodgers Tuesday. I think they're dead.
Yep,
gimmick stuff usually works. Like think about it, this time last year, they were doing ring around the rosy against the Raiders.
Oh my
Now,
God,
all
with
of
their
a sudden,
big offensive linemen were doing the whole.
now they're trying to hand it off.
What?
Eric Bieniemy. Andy Reid, though, we all thought that's why Eric Bieniemy had to go to the Commanders.
Right.
Remember, he had to leave the Kansas City Chiefs to get a head coaching job because whenever he's with the Chiefs, everybody just assumes Andy Reid does everything and Eric Bieniemy doesn't do anything. We can bring any slappy in here. We can even bring a guy who's a terrible head coach. Yeah, just kind of put him back in here. This would be rehab, just like what Saban does for coaches down in Alabama. They put Matt Nagy in there. All of a sudden, this team stinks. What is it? One half of the hammer.
Dahn.
Cowboys turn Diggs is here. Another team made a statement. Didn't make the top 4 that I mentioned at the beginning, but still a playoff contender. Holy hell.
Yeah.
The Pittsburgh Steelers are a football team and the Bengals are dead? What can we learn from that particular game? Because good on you guys. The fans basically made that change at quarterback.
Yeah.
They were chanting, fire Matt Canada.
Yeah. Change.
Fired him. They start chanting, we want Rudolph.
Bingo.
They're like a WWE crowd.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
These people are actually chanting. And Mike Tomlin's like, you know what? Yeah, all right, we'll do it. First time firing offense coordinator in the middle of the season since like 1980-something for 1960, whatever it was, for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I think 41.
40-something. Never happened. Then they make a quarterback change here to Mason Rudolph, a guy who has, in the past, for the Pittsburgh Steelers, not played great football.
Sure.
No.
George Pickens had a hell of a night. Congrats to George Pickens.
Way to go, George.
Now, he's obviously humbled by the whole situation that happened.
Of course.
Doesn't want to hear it. But Mason Rudolph, a man who was wished to be out of the city of Pittsburgh at one point during his career, is now a hero in Pittsburgh and a Christmas miracle. And all of a sudden, we're alive again, Tone Dude.
Yeah, he's an absolute hero. I believe the last time he played was a tie against the Detroit Lions back in 2020. So he's had 3 years to sit and reflect about his career and his life. And he came in and boy, oh boy, is the city rejuvenated. If the Steelers do not go to the Super Bowl, I will be extremely surprised, okay?
Whoa.
Okay, it's like a Tommy DeVito.
There's no reason to laugh.
It's a Tommy DeVito,
Okay,
Jeremy Lin
Since
situation.
Matt Canada's been fired, there's been 2 games where Mitch Trubisky did not start. Okay, let's just throw out the Mitch Trubisky starts. Those aren't a thing. Okay,
Mitch stinks.
Mitch might stink at quarterback. He's
We
a great
like
guy,
him as a
though.
person.
But he might
great
stink
guy.
at quarterback, okay?
Sweet man.
In those other 2 games that Kenny and Mason started, they are averaging over 400 yards a game, my friend. They're averaging over 25 points a game. If that doesn't scream Super Bowl, I don't know what does.
Especially with that defense, huh?
Boy, and extend Tomlin, okay? What were we thinking?
You were thinking.
Yeah.
Huh?
You were saying wholesale changes.
That's right.
You were saying. Bill Cowher came on and said Tomlin's the right guy.
Me too.
My loyalty's to winning, nothing else. But there's other people that wear cowboy hats.
Wholesale changes doesn't mean the head coach, okay?
Well,
That just means stuff.
Well, good for you then.
yeah.
Happy for you.
Merry Christmas, Tony.
Happy that you weren't on the wrong side of history then,
Bingo.
Tony.
Thank you.
But Steelers are all the way back, though. I can't wait to see what they look like this upcoming week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because this has been quite a.
Oh, yeah.
Now, TJ Watt obviously is the leader in everything defensively.
Sure.
Nobody talks about it because the Pittsburgh Steelers are not fantastic, you know, and they don't look like they are fantastic. But TJ Watt just gets to the quarterback, held, tackled, so what, says JJ, gets there. And then Highsmith's a dog, Cam Hayward's a guy.
Right.
The defense, although I don't know, or secondary, I don't know a lot of their names, feels like they made Jake Browning look like a way that Jake Browning hasn't looked. So congrats to the
Thank
Steelers.
you. Appreciate that.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, Mason Rudolph has been named starter for this week.
Wow.
And why wouldn't it be?
Brooke Pryor just broke that news 3 minutes ago. We were all kind of confused when it wasn't decided immediately, but I think, Tomlin likes to do everything in a manner that I would feel he assumes is professional. I'd like to say this directly to the players before I tell the media and everything like that. Good on him. Good for the Steelers. I do too. Joining us, a man who played 9 years in the NFL, an absolute stud, played all the positions in the secondary. Is a fan of numerous teams. But also just loves good ball. Ladies and gentlemen, Darius J. Butler. D-Butch, Dolphins beat the Dallas Cowboys in a game I think that was huge for the Miami Dolphins. And it's not only because everybody's chatting about maybe the Cowboys go, maybe the Dolphins go. This could be a Super Bowl preview.
Yeah.
That's right.
This could be AFC, NFC Super Bowl preview. Everybody's talking Ravens, Niners. This could be one if both these teams were playing their absolute best ball. They got Jason Sanders going 5 for 5, 3 50-plus yard field goals after hearing all week how good Brandon Aubrey was for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, this is how this works. The normally team meeting, and then each coordinator will get up and kind of describe what's going to happen or what the game plan is, or the head coach will, to describe to the whole team what we're going to do. The amount of times that in front of his entire team, Jason Sanders heard that Brandon Aubrey is this freak. This guy comes into the NFL, never been done before. Doesn't miss any kicks, hits long kicks, hits big kicks. The game's tight, he makes them. The game's a blowout, same exact kick. This guy's a machine. Jason Sanders used to be that, right, Gumps? Hey, Jason Sanders used to be an absolute robot at one point a couple years ago, right?
Yeah, then he got paid, and then the end of last year struggled a bit. Started this year, he was taking kickoffs, going out of bounds, missed a couple. He missed like 5 or 6 in a row outside of 50, and now he's all the way back.
Okay, so he has the talent and the skill. If you're in the NFL and to get paid in the NFL, you're there. So, like, at the kicking position, you're not competing against anybody but the ball every single time. Andrew Holder and snapper, obviously. Let's make this as easy as possible. But whenever all week you just get told, like, hey, boys, wait till you see this.
This other guy.
You know, and in Jason Sanders' head, he was that guy. That's why he got paid down there. So to see him bounce back, hit some big balls, that was like a nice showing of competitive that I see from kickers that you can't always find. You got to find the moments that you can find who's like a dog and who isn't. But aside from that, how about the Dolphins getting a huge win? What did you see from them that makes you believe in the Dolphins? And what did you see from the Cowboys that makes us go, oh, no, the Cowboys dead then?
Huge win. And I got to go back to Sanders for a second because he did hit the Kobe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 with the 5 field goals after the game. But it's a big win for the Dolphins. The narrative about them has been all year, can they beat good teams? Can they beat a playoff caliber team? And then you beat a team like Dak and the Cowboys came down. Not only that, you get the win, but Tua had to answer at the end of the game. He had to answer. He had to drive his team down and get him in the field goal range. So it was great to see that. I love what I saw up front with Wilkins and Chubb off the edge, and then offensively, Tyreek Hill getting back in there. We did lose potentially Jalen Waddle for a few weeks with a high ankle sprain, which is obviously a big deal. But still got Mostert, scored his 21st touchdown. We played well as a team, as a unit. Tough, hard-fought game. Got a win at home, and now we got another one with Baltimore coming up.
I can't wait.
About that win.
We got big games down the stretch. Shout out to the NFL schedule makers who, can't find it sometimes in the middle of the season.
Sure.
But seem towards the end here, we got some. I wore these pants like this with these off-whites today so that we can, this is the McDaniel look.
Yep.
And a lot of people bury him. How can a guy be good if he dresses like that? Yeah.
Whoa.
He's got those big sunglasses on. How about this new tradition of him running off the field like this while holding his entire thing? Is that, we do this, fins?
That's fins up, baby.
Oh, fins up.
Fins all the way up, baby.
You guys love him? I
Oh,
assume?
hell yeah. He's running all the time. He ran like on the field to call a timeout in the middle of the game. His play calling.
This guy's always
We
running.
got to lose. I love Mike. We got to lose the corner fade. He called himself out for it on Hard Knocks, and then he went back to it again with Cedric Wilson on 4th and goal. So just be done with that, coach.
Yeah, he is always running. Yeah, he did that on 4th down, too. I think a lot of us were very confused because he's so intelligent of a play caller. He set so many things up. Jalen Waddle went through it a little bit. So now, we've seen a couple of times without Tyreek, they've had to do, and they have 30-something nothing or whatever. And then they had to deal without Waddle for a good part of that game against the Dallas Cowboys defense that I think we all have respect for. They get the Tootsies. You think
something's up?
They look different, didn't they? That defense,
if you think about it, they held the Dolphins to 5 field goals. So if you come in that game and you say, hey, we hold him and keep him out of the end zone, you'll take that one touchdown. Most of his only touchdown scores. So Dan Quinn, that defense, I know, probably catching a lot of stuff, but I'll live with that result against that offense.
Yeah, especially if your offense shows up a little bit more for you, you're obviously winning that game.
Yes.
And look what you did when Tyreek was on the field with Tua. Now, Tua is a dog. I enjoy watching him play. You forget that whenever he was introduced to the sporting world, it was halftime of the national championship. And he comes in and wins it. And that's like, the dude has it in him. We're all pumped to watch that Dolphins team. And I think McDaniel, what he has done with that culture. Now, none of us are watching Hard Knocks on Tuesday.
No.
So unfortunate.
Should be.
Tonight.
Clips are great.
You guys are?
Love the
I'm
clips.
watching it tonight.
Me too.
Me too.
Oh, sure.
So that's
Me too.
at least 5 more.
We're watching tonight. If so, team on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Team.
All right. So we're watching it. Some people didn't say it.
I didn't say it. I'm sorry.
Well, I said it the first time and the second time, but I was the one initiating it, so I felt obligated to do it. I might have lied there, but I wanted to be
10 p.m. late.
It is like, and the clips are good though.
They are.
I think like his leadership style and the team that they have does and can go on a run. Speaking of going on a run in a leadership style, January 1st.
Oh.
No, January 21st, 2021. 121, 2021. 121-21, which is
It is the word like race car. And
Anagram.
There it is. It's an anagram.
Palindrome.
Palindrome. That's the word I know. I didn't know the anagram one.
go hang a salami, I'm a lasagna hog. Okay, same forward as it is backwards. Okay, what's your face?
Wow.
How about that?
Learning something new. I just learned 2 new things. 7 seconds.
Anagram.
Yep.
So anagram isn't exactly similar, but
What?
Palindrome is the same
It's a palindrome.
There
yeah.
it is. Yeah.
forward as it is backwards.
anagrams, you take the letters from one word and use those same letters to make a different
Oh,
word.
I see a lot of those games,
like Dare.
jumble words,
Exactly.
and things like that.
Drug
Right.
thing. The dare thingy.
So like dad,
Palindrome.
mom,
Yep.
Boob.
Race car.
yeah, you get it, you get it,
Yeah,
you got it. Okay, and also go hang a salami, I'm a lasagna hog.
Now,
Shout out to the
that's-
Slar Monster. That is the same
Spell that out.
forward and backwards.
working through
But
that.
on 121-21, a massive thing happened for the city of Detroit. A man was hired to be the new head coach of the Detroit Football Lions. Now, Lions have been through some stuff.
Yeah.
This team has sucked.
A lot of stuff.
This team has been really bad, different ways of bad. But it's not just like outright terrible every game where they're losing like 70-0. No. They actually put up fights every single week, and they'd be in it, and then devastation at the end. And you think to yourself, oh, I've experienced that. My team's done that a few times a season. I experienced.
Sure.
The Detroit Lions experienced that for every game of every season for 50 straight years.
Forever.
Seemingly. In it, we're good, and then how do we mess this one up? Oh, I don't know. A guy hits a 66-yard field goal after a clear delay of game that doesn't get called, and it bounces off the middle when it goes through.
Yep.
Oh, there's another 57-yarder on Monday night that a guy hits miraculously. Oh, there's a catch that goes off 2 heads. Oh, there's no catch. Oh, that was their life. So on January 21st, 2021, when they hired this man named Dan Campbell, they had no idea what to expect.
Nope.
I assume there was a lot of folks that said, is this guy going to make my life happier in the fall? Is this guy going to be a guy that's going to win a playoff game for the Detroit Lions? Is this a guy who's going to be able to make us be relevant in the NFC North conversation, in which we have been irrelevant for far too long. And then the press conference came. And this is what Motor City Dan Campbell said, his first statement as the Detroit Lions head coach.
This place has been kicked, it's been battered, it's been bruised, and I can sit up here and give you coach speak all day long. I can give you, hey, we're going to win this many games. I can't. But none of that matters, and you guys don't want to hear it anyway. You've had enough of that shit. So excuse my language.
No, that's good.
All right. Here's what I do know is that this team is going to take on the identity of this city. All right. And this city's been down, and it found a way to get up. All right. It's found a way to overcome adversity. All right. And so this team's going to be built on we're going to kick you in the teeth. All right. And when you punch us back, we're going to smile at you. And when you knock us down, we're going to get up. And on the way up, we're going to bite a kneecap off. All right. And we're going to stand up. And then it's going to take 2 more shots to knock us down. Okay. All right. And on the way up, we're going to take your other kneecap and we're going to get up. And then it's going to take 3 shots to get us down. And when we do, we're going to take another hunk out of you. Before long, we're going to be the last one standing. All right. That's going to be the mentality.
Okay. That's all you need to know.
Uh-huh.
We're going to punch you in the mouth, and then we're going to end up being the last one standing no matter what, no matter how it has to happen. Remember, Dan Campbell was on the Detroit Lions that went 0-16 when a certain quarterback was quarterbacking for them.
Yep. We all remember.
So he's been there. He understands what the city of Detroit is all about. And after that press conference, there was a lot of people that were mocking. Wow. That is not that's the opening press conference of an NFL head coach on a Zoom. Here's what I want to say to not only my players, my coaches, but to all the Detroit Lions fans. And I assume there were some Lions fans that thought, here we go. But they were getting kind of egged on to think that way by the national media.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Sports media cook this man. I think Eric Bieniemy was potentially up for the head coaching job at the same exact time. So this doofus getting hired over Eric Bieniemy was obviously chatted about everywhere. Here's the biggest show on TV, First Take, Max Kellerman's reaction immediately after the press conference.
Do you think Lions fans should be excited or concerned about their new head coach?
If I'm a Lions fan, I'm concerned. I liked what Bieniemy had to say about not getting a job better than what Campbell said. If I'm evaluating talent, so to speak, at the head coaching position, and Bieniemy says, of course, this is something I'm working for, and I'm grateful to keep it, and I don't want to distract from what we're trying to accomplish, that sounds like a head coach to me. We're going to bite off their knee. I see what Campbell thinks he's trying to get across. But listen, you see from the introductory press conferences sometimes where like, uh-oh.
That's Max Kellerman.
Yeah.
That's on First Take. Pretty big show. Another massive show at the same time, Colin Cowherd. Here's Colin Cowherd's tweet about it. If you're looking for winners and losers in tonight's trade, consider this. Jared Goff goes from Sean McVay to Fred Flintstone. Won't end well. Colin Cowherd actually pretty good bar there.
Yeah.
That would have made me laugh if I read it at the time. I'm sure I did. He was pumped about it, and he believed it as well. But then you think about what has happened to this Lions team. Everything that Fred Flintstone had to say in that opening press conference has become true. They started drafting pillars that build the culture that they wanted. They set the culture publicly. This is the type of players we're looking for. When you get here, this is what we're doing. Dan Campbell's doing up-downs. Penei Sewell is fighting people. Aiden Hutchinson is losing his mind, committing every single moment of his life to this team. It's like everything he projected was like a call to people who were coming to the Detroit Lions. And it worked out for the son of a bitch.
Nailed it.
It worked out.
They did it.
Here we are.
Yes.
On December 26, 2023.
Yes.
Not that
No.
far removed
Pretty quick.
from that opening press conference. And here's the speech that's being given now by Dan Campbell in a locker room after securing the first division championship in 3 decades for the Detroit Lions.
Man, you never forget your first one.
Yeah, true.
And there's
Still
a
same
lot of you
guy.
in here, right? The first collectively, man, we didn't know coming into this season, there's a lot of new guys, right? We had some core foundation. But, man, you find your new brothers, right? And you build from the ground up. And you've already developed through the core, which we did, man. We knew this wasn't going to be easy. You guys came in and earned it, and you've earned it all year. Give me the old guard up here right now. Come on, Dak. Decker. Come on, Dak. Come on, Germ.
The OG knee biters.
Whenever
whenever you do something like what we just did, it's special. It don't matter, man. And it don't matter how many you win in a row. They're special. But I can tell you this, when you're part of the organization, and it's been 30 years since you won a championship, it's special, man. And these guys have been fucking dying for it and waiting for it, man. It's for you, baby. This first one's for you. The rest of you people. Enjoy, baby.
Hell yeah. That's quite a come up from being the laughing stock of everybody to the first banner in 30 years. Good on Dan Campbell and all the boys and girls that work for the Detroit Lions.
Hell yeah.
What a run. Foxy, good for you.
Yeah.
One of your best beer chugs, you end up dumping it on your head. That was really good stuff for you. But, like, honestly, the ride to get here. Now, if you lose a playoff game, especially to Matthew Stafford, who's potentially coming back,
Right.
you know, and that whole thing, it's a sour taste for the entire offseason.
Right.
But we're going to enjoy the hell out of this at some point, right? Like right now we have to.
100%, Pat. When you're a fan of a team that has been so bad, like so bad, worst franchise in the history of sports, all you do as a fan is you find a little sliver of hope, right? You're just trying to find some sort of excuse to come back next year, after next year, after next year, whether it's the draft, whether it's a new player, or whether it's a brand new head coach and GM. And finally, we finally found that hope that came through, because normally, like you said, we lose in the most heartbreaking fashion.
And that game got
very close.
The Vikings started out.
Mullins drops a dime in that situation.
All we had to do was fall on a fumble, game over. 3rd and 28, Justin Jefferson makes a play, but then we did it. We get the interception, and we finally win a division championship for the first time in my life. And it literally is, like we always talk about on this show, culture, coaching, and then obviously you got to hit some draft picks. But Dan Campbell did all of this, and the way he did it for the people of Detroit and Lions fans everywhere, it couldn't be any more perfect. It's gritty, it's tough, and it's all hard work, and we are just so pumped about it. And I honestly, since Sunday, have not stopped thinking about it.
Hey, that's all. That's football, baby.
It's so sports are the best, and this is a great reason why.
Especially for the city of Detroit.
Yes.
How about him wearing that IndyCar helmet?
Oh, yeah.
You know, for the Detroit Grand Prix that happens up there every single year. Pretty big event, I think, for the city of Detroit and also IndyCar as a whole. And then he just got cooked. He wore that thing. He got cooked. They were losing. They get their first win. How many wins in the first season of his head coaching?
They were 0-10-1, and they finally got their first win, and they ended up with 3 wins that year.
And he cried.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody, all right, 0-10-1. Okay. So they've been through it.
Oh, yeah.
And now they win the NFC North. And Ty, have you handed the crown over to Detroit? You know, because I appreciate the fact that Dan Campbell and the boys were like, you know, let's give Detroit one last same old Lions feel.
Yeah.
Let the Vikings start coming.
Remember?
Middle of the holiday, you know, let's let them start creeping in. And then everybody in Detroit's like, wait, have we cured that problem of worrying about the Lions letting it go? Are we the brand new Lions, or are we the same old Lions? It started creeping into the family conversations, you know, because they're breaking bread. They're talking about life. The Lions are on TV. This is the way holidays go. Wait a minute, the Vikings. Oh, you know, some 60-year-old.
Oh, yes.
At some Detroit holiday gathering.
Yep.
Saw what was happening in that game. Oh, this is what they do. I told you. And instead, MCDC and the boys prove they're the brand new Lions and hang a banner. What a Christmas miracle. Now, Ty, are you passing a crown over to Detroit, or how's this whole thing go? Is there a sash, or how's this whole thing go?
I don't know if I'm going to relinquish the crown quite yet, because, I mean, but I did. I told Foxy 6 years ago when we first met each other, when we were interns, I was like, listen, dude, like, I know you love the Lions. I know you've seen this story over and over again, but until Rodgers is done playing in this division, it literally doesn't matter what the Lions do. It just doesn't. And it didn't. I mean, last year, that was kind of like the final nail in the coffin to the Rodgers era in Green Bay when the Lions beat them week 18 to knock them out of the playoffs.
That was supposed to be for the playoffs for the Lions.
It was.
Seattle.
But it really is, like, even with them being in the division, it's hard not to be happy for the Lions and for, like, Lions fans, because, like, I mean, my entire life, you know, not just Foxy's, my
entire life, like my entire life, like the Lions have sucked. You look at that on the schedule, it's like, okay, boom, 2 wins, no matter what, like doesn't matter. And the Lions historically, they play the Packers pretty well, but just like they have done everything right. And then you look at like the draft day this year where all 3 of those guys that they drafted with their first 3 picks have made huge immediate impacts, and they get shit on right away just because it's the Lions. And
easy to do.
Because it's Dan Campbell. And for them to be able to, and even this year, like, more so than a lot of other teams, like when they would lose or when they would get beat, immediately, these guys are frauds. They suck. Like, it doesn't matter. And they kind of just, that bunker mentality, like they had it all year.
Yeah.
They had each other's backs. Like it's really cool seeing them not just shit down their legs down the stretch here and actually close this thing out. But now you do have to win a playoff. Like that's just the way it goes. Like
we won a championship.
It's awesome, but that's how you break the just happy to be here type thing. Like now it's an expectation.
Big first step.
Exactly. Had the big first step. You have to go win at least your first playoff game this year. I don't know if you have to win the Super Bowl. That's a lot, but like if you want to get the stink off of just like, hey, we're just happy to be here. This is great. Like. Those days are over.
Well, let them at least have a happy to be here moment.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're enjoying this one for sure.
And Barry Sanders used to hand the ball to the official because he'd been there before. Yeah. I'm like, what about the people who hadn't? Like, there's first touchdowns happening all the time. Those people should be allowed to go bananas and not be judged then. Is that how we're all talking about everybody? No, they should act professional. It's like, what if you accomplish something you've never done before and you've been working your entire life for? How about the city of Detroit?
You have no idea how long I've daydreamed about this moment, and then I'm still daydreaming about that playoff win and eventually that Super Bowl win. Because you're going to be alive for a while, let's all hope, and all you can think about is like someday they're going to do it. They have to do it. Inevitably, in 80 years, they're going to win a Super Bowl, a playoff game, whatever.
I saw something about human life expectancy is higher than it's ever been, by the way.
Bingo.
See the golfer one?
So maybe 90 years, maybe 100 years.
And so you just daydream about it so much, and that's what keeps you coming back. But that's also what makes you feel like an idiot, because when they don't do it, you're like, oh, another season. I spent 3 hours every single Sunday watching the team lose.
Let's jot this down. Let's remember happiness for Detroit before anybody else in the NFL right now on this day.
Yep. Got to enjoy it. 30 years and hat T-shirt game, division game. You can take those for granted. You went to a winning organization out of the gate. I did as well. So it wasn't I'm sure a huge deal.
Hat
in.
tossed.
Yeah, hat T-shirt. Yeah, it's in your locker. All right, boom, we got it done. Now we're thinking about the playoffs. But to think about an organization, whether you've been there or not, 30 years, it wasn't even an NFC North at that point. And then not only did you do it, you did it your way. You built the team, him and the GM, Brad Holmes, in the identity of Dan Campbell. You go back to a lot of the Lions fans been pulling up an old tweet I had with them doing up downs and like the team just looking like horse shit. Dan came up there doing up down. It's like, oh yeah, this team ain't gonna be worth nothing. And now to see how they've been, all the way up to this year, this draft, you just mentioned it, like the draft picks that they took, where they took them because of the positional value and all this. And then not even do you take Jahmyr Gibbs, but then you don't even use them as much until kind of this point in the season. And now they look like a genius doing that. So just they've done it their way from the beginning. They're gonna be a tough team. Obviously, some things to fix up, but. To win a hat and T-shirt, man, to get that division, and first one in 30 years, him bringing the old guys, up to the front, that was a special moment, I'm sure, for that group. That's only going to bring them closer. 11-4 right now, you got to enjoy this moment. Obviously, it's much more to be done, but it's a huge moment for that organization.
And let's pivot away from that to see what happened to the Niners.
Man.
Game of the weekend. Yep. It lived up to its billing and conversation pieces for sure. Everybody's talking about Super Bowl preview. Then we heard the Baltimore Ravens all week were feeling disrespected by the 5.5 point underdog situation in Santa Clara on Christmas Day. They said they don't like that. All of us were like, it's not that. The Niners are unstoppable.
Top clock.
Hey, don't. I actually said that. I said, I'm picking the Niners against anybody. I love the Baltimore Ravens. I've been one of the biggest Baltimore Ravens fans, I think, publicly for a very long time. Not only because what I think about Lamar Jackson and that offense kind of coming together, but also because, real home field advantage there. Mm-hmm. If they get it, actual home field advantage. So I'm a massive fan of them. I just thought that the Niners were unstoppable. I thought they were unbeatable. Now, I know they've lost the game. Everybody has. But they've looked now how they looked last year going into playoffs, which is a buzzsaw. If it wasn't for what happened against Philadelphia Eagles in the first quarter where they ended up being in a position where they couldn't even throw a pass in a game, that's tough. That's a tough thing. In a professional football game, not even being able to attempt a forward pass, that's tough. Now, it happening in the biggest game of the year, also tough. It happening away at a different place with a team that shit talks and everything, also different and very good. So the Niners had to sit on that all year. They're all the way back. They're rolling. They're the team. No way they lose to the Baltimore Ravens. Well, this Baltimore Ravens team is a bunch of dogs.
Yeah. So good.
Holy hell. What they were able to accomplish over there. Okay, not at home, which is certainly an advantage, and I would like to see Brock Purdy. We saw him in Cleveland. I would like to see him in Baltimore to see how it goes, although nice weather.
Yeah.
Christmas.
Very nice.
Everybody's talking about the lack of snow. Nice weather. Not too shabby there. I would like to see that. Instead, they go into into Santa Clara, and they just bully them. You know what I mean? They just beat them up.
Kill 'em.
Now, granted, Brock Purdy had a couple bad picks. Couple incredibly unlucky picks. Kyle Hamilton is 6'4". Let's never forget that. He's 16 yards off the ball here. He will also make plays up near the line of scrimmage and into backfield. This dude is everywhere. He's an absolute stud. Roquan Smith, Patrick Queen, dogs at the linebacker position. That one could have bounced literally anywhere in the 53 and the third except for where it did. And it's not an interception. What a game changer. But the Baltimore Ravens made it happen. That was an incredible play by them. There's another deflection for an interception that Brock Purdy threw. And you think to yourself, well, this guy's unlucky. Well, a lot of people have gotten unlucky against the Baltimore Ravens. You know why? Number one defense in the league.
Yep.
Number one defense in the league. You talk about Lamar Jackson being the favorite for the MVP right now. It's like, okay, probably not going to get it because of stats. That's just reality of the situation. But the reality of the situation is Lamar does not care. Lamar just talks about winning. Lamar negotiated his deal this past offseason, only had one mindset: I want to win a Super Bowl. He already has an MVP. The defense signed. Special teams said about everybody on that team seemingly all the time. Like likely, well, he's not going to be good as Mark Andrews. It's like, he is.
Yeah.
He has turned into being a great outlet for Lamar, and we can't wait to see them both on the field, especially in this brand new offense. Then you think about like Odell Beckham Jr. came to the team. He's getting the ball. Now he's got those Christmas cleats on. Those are the story of the night, but he's blocking downfield. Gus Edwards has 12 touchdowns. It's like this team's the real deal. And once you start diving in, I think a lot of people are doing that on this particular Tuesday, D-Butch.
Yeah, I mean, I was on this squad from the beginning. You know, I believe in this team. And coming into this week, I told you they were the top 5 on both sides of the ball, just like the Dolphins were. But, I mean, this is a team decimated by injuries somewhat earlier in the season on both sides of the ball. Had some slight fracture in the offseason when Lamar was trying to get his deal done with the kind of some things you never see from the Ravens culture, some players speaking out, some things going on. Then they get that figured out, and then it just hit the ground rolling. Todd Monken, his first year as an OC. Mike McDonald, his second year as a DC now with some issues early last year, but they figured it out. And you mentioned Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen. You know, with Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw, I feel like these are the 2 units where you got like legit off-ball backers, like kind of throwback backers who are 3-down backers, don't have to take them off the field for passing situations, running situations, absolute dogs. And then on offense, they can win any type of football game. If they got to drop back and throw the ball around like they did against the Lions, they can do that. If they got to run and win some ugly ones, they can do that as well. So just a bunch of dogs on that team. And it's one of those teams also who you know they're listening to what's being said outside. You know they're stacking chips. They're all looking at Lamar every week like, yo, you mentioned it last week. Like, how aren't more people talking about this guy? Why isn't he getting talked about in prime time more and things like that? You mentioned the stats. When you watch him play, he's just electric, and he's a game changer. You see that on the field week in and week out. And in his defense, I think you talked about Kyle Hamilton, the linebackers, not a lot of household names in that secondary outside of those guys, but they play well as a unit, man. I love watching this team play.
Yeah, I enjoy watching the Ravens. I think that was my big takeaway from last week whenever they were in primetime is how do we not have more Ravens primetime games?
Yes.
We hit this lull every single year. These schedule makers seem to get it right. We got great games coming up and everything is on the matter. We appreciate that. They got big brains. They're using AI now.
Smart.
We know they're using AI now.
Yeah.
But it feels like let's not AI or overthink this. You put Lamar Jackson on primetime, it's going to be entertaining. Every single play is electrifying, even whenever refs can't backpedal.
What are we doing?
What are we doing? How is this a thing? And how does this remain a safety? I get that the throw, full panic.
Yeah.
The side shot, slow motion of him panicking halfway down and realizing that Lamar's a lot closer. And it's like they quick snapped it. I guess he's got to go up and get out of the way. But that whole stumble, you're talking about near shitting of pants, I assume, for that ref. That is exactly what he's not supposed to do. Do not be in the way at all. Well, let me get my legs out. Nope. Can't do anything. Now, we assume Lamar Jackson is athletic enough here. If that ref is not in the way, he probably runs back to the left, puts the ball in his left hand, throws it out of bounds, past the line of scrimmage, and there's no safety needed for intentional grounding.
Nope.
But instead, we don't take into account that maybe a guy not as athletic as he should be.
Sure.
Him laughing afterwards, problem. I saw a lot of people saying Chase was getting him anyways. It's like, do you know that?
Yeah, come on.
Do you know that with Lamar Jackson?
Come on.
I seen Mason Rudolph there for 300 and some yards.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't think that Lamar Jackson might put that ball left hand, throw it out of bounds?
Chase was getting him anyways. Okay, let's be honest.
Whoa.
He wasn't getting him. But who's the head ref there?
Bill Vinovich.
He had to come in. Just imagine him, though, because he sees his guy trip Lamar. And he's got to come in. He knows he's got to throw the flag and give the safety. And he's like, damn it.
No, you don't, though.
No, you don't.
I mean,
That's
the
what I'm
refs
saying.
are part of the field.
I understand.
I've been knocked off of coverage. They've been getting quarterbacks. I mean,
That's on purpose, though.
I mean, don't run 30 yards backwards in the end zone.
Okay, Mason Rudolph's not as athletic as Lamar. You won't see it. Neither is Kenny Pickett, and neither is Mitch Trubisky.
What's that?
This is being athletic to run 30 yards backwards with guys running after you. This is a part of Lamar's game. The panic, I appreciate.
Yeah.
The laughing afterwards, I assume we still got a game to call.
Yeah, he was. You see him right after. He punches the turf because he knows.
These refs get very upset about missed calls. Whenever they're reviewed and they get overturned, we watched a guy be upset for probably 5 to 10 minutes. Just, I can't believe I got that one wrong.
Yeah.
Just not happy about it. We respect his professionalism, but we can make a common sense call. Can we not? Can we not say, yeah, maybe, Chase, maybe, but also guy tripped a quarter. I mean, what do we? Because those 2 points at this time we thought were going to be very important.
Oh, yeah.
We were like, hey, listen, this is going to be. What if this is what the game is decided upon?
Yes.
tough.
But he's obviously cutting back to the corner.
Yeah.
Putting that ball in his left hand, jumping, spinning, throwing it out of bounds past the line of scrimmage. No intentional
Play on. To the very least. So he might get all the way around. Who knows?
Yeah, we don't know if he's potentially. A lot of people saying Chase is tackling him regardless. Well, of course, when he has to run towards Chase.
Yes.
Because the ref's on the grind. Ref on the grind. Ref on the grind.
He's getting that ball to the line of scrimmage.
No doubt about it.
No doubt about it. Thank you, D-Butt.
saw him throw the-
You heard Tone? Tone's not the only one. Tone, there's a lot of people that are saying that on the internet.
Ridiculous.
That ref was not expecting that. That was, man.
He thought he was reffing all white
Tough
team.
spot.
People were saying they were.
Alex.
Oh, yeah, that was kind of the segregation.
You know?
Al Moore. Yeah.
Alex Moore, St. Petersburg compliance manager.
Well.
Okay. Well, let me tell you about the compliance situation we have.
Yeah.
He's very thankful that the Ravens will go on to win that game.
Oh, yeah. By a lot.
Yeah.
He jiu-jitsu back rolled out of there, and his first thought was, I hope this game doesn't
What have I done?
Oh, my God. What if they won by 2?
I hope this game doesn't come down to that. Let's talk about another team that, oh no. I don't like it.
Oh, who's this?
I don't like that we have to do this.
Uh-oh. How to do it?
Did we just see a dynasty fall? Fall, fall, fall. Fall, 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 fall. Fall, 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 fall. Feels like it, doesn't it?
Yeah. A little bit.
Taylor Swift was there. She walked in with Santa Claus.
She did.
Taylor Swift walked into the game on Christmas with Santa Claus.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Big news. Taylor Swift's at the game. Bigger news. Santa Claus, see also at the game.
Yeah.
Oh, this was going to be it. This was going to be gigantic. The Chiefs were going to secure another playoff spot. They're going to secure another AFC West. They were going to do exactly what they've done for the last 6 years, seemingly. This is Chiefs season. This is Patrick Mahomes' time. This is Travis Kelce dancing all over faces, screaming, And all they got to do is beat the Raiders. Raiders have already fired their coach.
Yeah.
Raiders haven't been able to beat the Chiefs in forever.
Never.
Bench QB.
That's all you got to do. Playing a rookie.
Yep.
Yeah.
How about this? Keep the Raiders from completing a pass after the first quarter. Okay, that's all they had to do.
Should probably win.
They did that.
No Josh Jacobs?
They did that. Chiefs look terrible, bro.
Yeah.
Very bad.
But it's not just how they look on the field. With all the good juju around the team, Santa Claus, Scott Calvin,
What?
Taylor Swift, Swifties, Obviously, Brittany Mahomes, beloved.
Mm-hmm. Stone Street,
always there.
Mm-hmm.
Quarterback, the Netflix thing, awesome.
Yes.
Became a big fan of Patrick Mahomes. With all the good vibes and all the good that has happened, feels like the football gods are not blessing these Kansas City Chiefs either.
No.
Yesterday was one of the windiest games I think I've ever seen. Now, they didn't talk about it much, but it did feel, whenever you see Travis Kelce moving late, Devontae Adams moving his hands late, ball is like kind of floating and hovering, you would assume it was pretty gusty out there, not to make like kicks missed and things like that. But also, football gods just...
Oh, boy.
We're done with them.
not about it.
Did you see how mad Travis Kelce got?
Oh yeah.
Travis Kelce came off on the sideline after another 3 and out and chucked his helmet. This dude has the #1 sports podcast on earth.
Then he broke it.
This guy's he's been on TV 364 times
More
for
commercials
advertising.
than anybody.
More commercial than Jake from State Farm.
Yeah.
State Farm's like one of the #1 NFL ads. This
Literally
guy's on more.
Jake's job.
3rd down, we're off the field. We're spiking. Oh, no. Tommy Townsend says, I'm going to complete a 24-yard pass in the windiest conditions on earth. Oh, I need my football game. Andy Reid says, don't give him his football helmet yet. Let me give him a little. Hey, I'm going to give you a noogie, actually.
Wake
Yeah.
Travis Kelce wasn't the only one mad.
No.
We've been seeing Patrick Mahomes different than we've ever seen Patrick Mahomes. Here's Patrick Mahomes chewing out the offensive line.
Oh.
Now, it didn't become a Derek Carr, Saints center situation, McCoy, where they thought about fighting him. They listened to him. They respect him. Obviously, Tooney respects him. We've won a Super Bowl together. That's Patrick Mahomes. You can go ahead and get out whatever you want to get out. But Patrick Mahomes now, numerous times over the last couple of weeks during Chiefs season, whenever football matters, they got to play their best football. Losing is cool.
Yeah.
Oh no.
This is cool Patrick Mahomes. It's not so cool anymore.
It's his season.
You know who else is bummed out? Taylor Swift, Brittany Mahomes. These two new best friends, they got handshakes. They travel to games together.
Oh,
Did someone just die?
bummer.
Yeah. Potentially a dynasty.
Yeah.
Now, Taylor Swift saying to Brittany, Brittany's more life is just a football game.
Yeah.
Okay?
Not for me.
I'm worth like $4 or $5 billion.
Yep.
I sold every stadium. I got hits after hits and
Right.
everything like that. But watching how like committed Taylor Swift is to the Chiefs, it's awesome.
Really
Incredible.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is why I don't like that they're not winning, because this situation happening in the playoffs with 40, 50,
Right.
60 million people watching is good for the NFL. But it's not just that everybody's bummed out. How about the football gods just dumping all over them? Did you see Pacheco hop up on the training table?
Oh, yeah.
Tough.
Oh, man, I just got kneed in the head by a teammate.
Boom.
Oh my God.
Table can't even stand.
Another concussion.
So what can go wrong did go wrong and is currently going wrong for the Kansas City Chiefs. And we're in a place that we haven't been in a long, long time. I think this year is potentially we're going to sit this one out year for the Kansas City Chiefs. And I don't like that at all, Ty Schmidt.
Yeah, I mean, it's a backbreaker because, like you said, we've never seen this in terms of like the body language and all the stuff. I mean, these guys are always having the most fun. Mahomes laughing, giggling. It's always talking about his brother doing the TikToks and all that kind of stuff.
How bad we hate him.
Exactly.
Yeah,
How
other stuff,
he's
too.
ruining everything. Kelce, the guy honestly looks like he's never had a bad day in his life until these last couple weeks, and then now it's just
Even when he's getting a shot,
Yeah.
which hurts.
hurts.
He's,
Yeah,
because
that's Travis Kelce.
Some
Only
people-
has to
Ear
do
to
it
ear.
once.
Some
He's
people are
always
wondering.
happy. Always happy. Literally. Patrick Mahomes, always happy.
Always happy.
Yeah.
That's
Always
like what
in a
it has
great
been.
mood. And now, unfortunately, we're going to get all the, this is all Taylor's fault. When she's just up there wearing a monogrammed 87 Santa hat, just trying to cheer her man on.
The internet was saying she was the Grinch and she stole the Kansas City Chiefs' happiness.
No, they were also saying she was what?
Yeah, Yoko Ono. Yeah.
I don't like that at all.
It's absurd.
Whenever greatness gets
Deep
added to
agent
greatness, it's
for
good
the
thing.
Eagles.
What's that?
I saw it on my Twitter that she was like a deep agent for the Eagles as well.
Oh, is that why?
Well, the Eagles need a little help. They need to get her and Big Dom back then if
Yeah,
that's
they
the
do.
case.
Yeah.
I jumped off the Chiefs last week though.
Couple.
Saw it,
Yeah, it's been like this all year.
I saw it.
I think we should also talk about how good the Raiders are.
Yeah, Raiders are.
That Raiders defense,
Yeah.
Stop.
phenomenal. I mean, obviously 2 touchdowns within a matter of 7 seconds. On the one play, they just dropped the ball during a handoff. And on the other play, it's I think the wind gust was maybe 70, 80 miles
Let's
an hour.
not do that.
I think it was 70, 80 miles
It
an
might
hour.
have been.
I think the wind
Let's
gust was
not-
70, 80 miles an hour.
Let's
Remember a
not
couple
do
weeks
this.
ago, Patrick Mahomes was sick.
It was
Yeah.
sick.
Let's
Now
not
he's
do
got a
this.
78 mile an hour wind gust. That's why he's so upset to the guys. He's like, hey, guys, we were running ball with 78 mile an hour wind gust. That's what he was saying to the offensive line. I can't believe I didn't think of that. And once again, he was going to give the ball to the kid, but then an adult tried to steal it. He said, neither of you get it. How
Yeah.
about that? It's a pick 6 for Patrick Mahomes. I'm going to keep this one. Merry Christmas. Raiders, phenomenal. Need to be talked about. But the conversation is certainly, are the Chiefs dead? Now let's pivot away from the NFL. Let's go to the NBA because they had a day yesterday.
Yes, they did.
Yesterday used to be their day.
Mm-hmm.
And jolly old Roger Goodell says our day now.
That's right.
It's our day now. We got 3 games in the primetime one where you guys got Braun, Celtics, cool. Lakers, Celtics, big fan. We got Super Bowl preview. We got Lamar Jackson taking on San Francisco 49ers. Good luck over there. But there was a lot of people that watch NBA. We were not one of them. So joining us now is a man who played 16 years in the NBA, is an NBA analyst and pundit on ESPN, friend of the program, ladies and gentlemen, Kendrick Perkins. Big Perk, how you doing, man?
Tired as hell. Look. I worked a 13-hour shift yesterday on Christmas Day, but I enjoyed every minute of it. I enjoyed every minute of it. You know what happens when you get Christmas and basketball on the same day? You get me.
Okay.
You get me all day long. That's a great thing for the world.
We like that from Santa Perk, Now, people are saying you work 13 hours on Christmas so that you don't have to stare at that white Santa Claus all day. Now, that is what people, Perk, that's what people are saying. But I did catch you guys on TV yesterday, and I thought you did a fantastic job, by the way. And you deserve some flowers for that being a holiday and committing that many hours to watch it. We appreciate, hey, Perk, hell yeah. And a lot of people are going on vacation after that day. Instead, you're right back in the studio, especially joining us. Let's dive in. What happened yesterday that we need to know about? I seen that LeBron was down and out. Then he swats somebody, but his teammate gets a penalty. The Celtics end up dominating. What's the big storyline coming out of yesterday, Big Perk?
Well, it's a few. Starting off with the Celtics-Lakers game, right? Because that was the marquee matchup for us Christmas Day. And the Celtics proved to me and the rest of the world that they're the best team in the NBA.
Oh,
I'm not just,
you don't say.
Yes, and I'm not just basing this off of what they did yesterday to the Lakers. I'm talking about the clean sweep that they had for us in LA. They beat the brakes off the Clippers, and then to come in and do what they did. Look, when I look at that starting 5 with Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Derek White, Drew Holiday, and Porzingis, that is so electrifying. And I know all the people, the naysayers, are saying they shoot too many threes. I was one of them. But I'm a believer in their three-point shooting. And I'm a believer in their perimeter defense. This team should be favored to win it all.
West Virginia coach, right?
Yes, Joe Mazzulla. Fantastic.
Dog. Joe Mazzulla, absolute dog, getting it figured out. I understand that people think about, shooting too many threes because at West Virginia, before Joe Mazzulla, Beeline was there. And whenever we were hot, Pittsnoggle and the boys, we were on a run. You run into a night where you're cold, though, or a series where you're cold, all of a sudden it ends. You're saying they got big enough. They're big enough in the paint. They run good enough offense where even if they do get cold, we're going to win still, the Celtics.
Yeah, because one thing about it, they're a top 5 team offensively, top 3 team offensively, and they're a top 3 team defensively. And we all know in order to win a championship, you got to defend. And when I just think of Derek White and Drew Holiday, I'm talking about when I say pests, those guys are professional pests when it comes to hounding the ball. And they do other things in the interior. Like they may be 6'4" and 6'5", but they play 7'1" at times. Their ability to rebound in traffic, block shots. And I will say this. I've been very, very critical of Joe Mazzulla since he's taken over the job. But I will say this. I got to give him his flowers because he's doing it his way, and his way is working. And right now the Celtics are on people's ass like back pockets.
Ooh, like that. I like that. Hey, Perk, I love everything you're speaking right now about Joe Mazzulla.
Yeah.
He was so young, dropped in there.
Yeah, people say he stinks.
Previous coach, it was just, he's throwing it around.
Ime Udoka. No.
He's throwing it around the whole building, right?
Yeah, his problem was he hated wearing pants.
Oh, okay. All right. And just happened to.
That's what happens.
So then Joe Mazzulla gets plugged in. Congratulations.
Right.
Because that guy, like, coach of the year type conversation, right?
Yeah, Udoka won coach of the year and then Mazzulla finalist coach of the year.
So this guy gets dropped in the middle of that whole situation. Like, yeah, you're next. And now here they are, number 1 team in the league, says Perk. Good on you, Joe. Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Perk, another team who's been at the top for a little bit now was the Denver Nuggets. And there was a kind of pregame warm-up that kind of hit the internet internet this weekend of Jokic, basically just throwing up air balls and not really giving a damn about anything that isn't inside those four quarters. Are they going to go on a run again here? And was yesterday one of the bigger times where you think the Warriors missed Draymond more than ever because of how Aaron Gordon and Jokic played inside?
Yesterday was all about the Nuggets, and they just reminded us why they are the defending champs. I mean, they're coasting through the season, and rightfully so, right? They're just saying we want to get to the playoffs. Once we get to the postseason, we know what to do. We have our two superstars in Jokic and Murray. We have our other core pieces in Caldwell Pope and Aaron Gordon. We have Reggie Jackson, who's going to come off the bench and provide what we need to provide. We also have Christian Braun, who has been there. They have the experience. They have the IQ. All they're saying is that we're just going to win games. We're going to fly under the radar. And like Michael Malone said, hell, we're trying to be a dynasty. So that's what they're trying to be. They don't give a damn about the regular season, but they're going to win games.
You're talking about Daddy Mike Malone? Yeah, the warm-up of Joker. He hit the internet yesterday. It's phenomenal. Not only him just lax it. Let me go and put this off the roof and hit nothing. That's the best player in basketball right there, by the way. Best player in basketball. Do it over to, let me see. Yeah, no. You'd think you'd make that, by the way.
Yeah, seriously.
That's like the video you would normally think would hit the internet. Is him just nonchalantly making it all? Nope. There's another video of him spinning the ball on his finger while he's chewing his nails. He's just sitting down. Ball ends up hitting him in the head, and he's like, whoa. And then he just...
Yeah, he's just enjoying Christmas Day.
Loves life. Yep. Love watching him play ball. Last question here for you from D-Buck. Go ahead,
Let me ask you about KD. So a report came out yesterday, I believe, about him being frustrated with what's going on in Phoenix. Also saw Devin Booker kind of getting into it a little bit with his teammates. Everything good out there in Phoenix?
Oh, I don't like that.
Uh-oh.
Hell no. Hell no. And KD need to start with himself. He need to be frustrated with himself. Look, KD is the only guy on their roster, I believe, that has a championship. So with that being said, just like when he went to Golden State and all of a sudden Draymond Green and Steph Curry and Steve Kerr, the coach, taught him how to win at a high level, he need to take that same energy to Phoenix. He has to be the leader. And I'm not just saying go out there and score 40. That's part of it. But go out there and actually be a vocal leader. KD body language last night was horrible all across the board. But what people don't realize is that, and this is in any sport, when you have body language, that affects your teammates. Oh, yeah. Your bad body language affects your teammates. I saw Kevin Durant not sprint back in transition. I saw him turning the ball over. I saw him complaining with the refs. If you're doing that and you're supposed to be the leader of this team, an extension of Frank Vogel, then all of a sudden everybody else go follow. Here's the problem that I have, another problem. Mm-hmm. Eric Gordon, okay, who is on a vet minimum, had some comments a couple of days ago about, being more of a focal point in the offense and things to that nature. If you're doing your job as a leader in that locker room, guys that are on the vet minimum, that's a role player, they're not coming out saying those type of things.
All right,
and don't come give me, they haven't been healthy. They haven't had Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, and KD all on the floor at one time. Devin Booker and Kevin Durant is enough.
You're the man. Ladies and gentlemen, Big Perk, we appreciate you, buddy. Appreciate you, Perk. Thank you, buddy. All right,
appreciate y'all. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. All right, we'll see you all in about 3. Take 3.
Hello and welcome to Office Championship Wrestling live in Indianapolis, Indiana. Tonight we have a straight to hell match in which the devil will battle against our office wrestler, Dylan Boston. You might be wondering how we got here. Let's find out right now.
And now we have to make a deal with the devil.
Yeah, no big deal. Classic trial by combat situation. We got our champion, Dylan Bostic. All he's got to do, win the match, 1, 2, 3, and we're home safe.
The only man that would take the job to protect us from the devil himself, Dylan Bostic.
Like you mentioned, Pat, there's probably about 5 or 6 other guys we'd rather have in this position, but we'll take Bostic, I guess.
Not only are all of our souls on the line, the Office Championship Wrestling Championship presented by Natural Light is also on the line.
Jesus, the devil's trying to put Bostic right to hell!
I do not want to go
Good God, no!
Don't do
Good
it!
God, no! Come on, Bostic, Pat!
Oh, no. Oh, my.
I'll see you in hell, Pat. The goddamn Easter Bunny's out here! What the hell's he doing here?
The Easter Bunny is obviously here to help Dylan Bostic. Wait a minute. No!
Oh, no!
The Easter Bunny's been on the devil's side this whole time. Jesus Christ! Jesus Christ! Jesus
What the hell's
Christ!
Jesus Christ doing here?
The power of Christ is compelling Dylan Bostic.
Look at this, Pat! Jesus Christ is bringing Bostic back to life! Jesus is going insane! And now Bostic's kicking wholesale ass in the ring!
Jesus Christ has come to help Dylan Bostic defeat the devil and defeat the Easter Bunny. What's going to happen here?
Good God Almighty, it looks like he's going up in the scissor lift!
Jesus is lifting the scissor lift. Jesus is now telling Bostic to come down from
Don't do it, Bostic! Don't do it! Oh, my God!
Oh,
Bostic's dead! He's dead! You can't tell from home, but that scissor lift is about 8 stories up, Pat!
80 feet in the air. Oh, wait. He's tuning up the bed. The devil.
Super kick! Into the casket! The devil goes down! The devil goes down!
Jesus shuts the casket.
And that's it!
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey, what? Let's go. This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. Ah! The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Sport! Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Overreaction Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, December 26, 2023. Hour 2 of the program starts now. Football happened in a glorious fashion over the last few weeks, and there are a few days and few weeks, I guess, and good news for everybody. The next 2 weeks are big.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot on the line. 24 teams are still dreaming of making the playoffs. We have one team that's already won a division. They haven't done it for 30 years. Stories are never ending this time of year, and we hope you had a fantastic Christmas with your family. The Talks the Table is here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys Tone Diggs is here, and 9-year NFL vet wearing a really cool onesie.
Yeah.
Darius J. Baller. You look super cool today.
Appreciate it.
How was Christmas down there in South Florida?
Warm. Beautiful.
How warm? Like, what are we talking?
Ooh. Mid-70s, I believe.
Oh,
Come on.
Actually got 27 holes in on Christmas Eve with my brother and brother-in-law.
Who won? You back?
I actually got there about 4 holes in.
Nice, that's right.
Had to get some stuff done at the house. And then
27 holes?
Yeah, we stole the extra 9, actually. We just circled back.
Classic.
Act like you're supposed to.
Hey, we got 1 or 2. We need to clear some. And then you're off and running. I appreciate that. Congrats on a great Christmas.
Sure.
You guys put Christmas?
Yeah.
Now, his connection just dropped off completely.
Okay.
Because that state has been known to do that before. I believe he's probably getting throttled because all of the great things he was searching for whenever he was looking to have the best Christmas of all time.
Oh, yeah.
This man is a college football national champion.
What?
A Super Bowl champion.
What?
A Ryder Cup winner.
What?
A man who gives the greatest Christmas gifts of all time to his 10 kids.
Yeah.
Whoa. He's the current president of Ohio. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk.
Yeah.
AJ, how was Christmas, pal? How was it?
Oh, it was great. Yeah, sorry, I just dropped off and then came right back on. Am I okay?
Yeah,
you look
good. You look amazing. I think if it was the proper reset, which I think is going to happen to the Niners.
Oh, okay.
I think you drop off, come right back. I think they have a loss, and then they'll rebound. I think that's the culture of that particular team. But let's talk about you real quick. So Santa comes in, does his thing for a lot of kids, and then
four kids, yes.
Really? That's it?
Not 10. Yeah, not 10. But people actually do ask me if I have 10. Hey, where's the rest of them? No, sorry, this is it, guys.
Well, they might be on the way. We have no idea how the Hawks operate over there. They're like rabbits over there in Ohio. But like, whenever so this is a full. You got to be preparing for a long time. Now that first Christmas with Mackenzie, I was putting stuff together.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
That was cool. That was a cool moment. That was a really cool moment. You got to do that for. Because Santa brings Santa's gifts, and obviously parents' gifts are coming through. Now, Antonio Brown has some different.
Wow, no Santa gifts there.
Yeah,
he had a lot of thoughts.
He was pretty active. He was pretty active. But anyways, this is a long week, I assume. Holiday's a long week for you.
Yeah, you need to just prepare early, and like always, we didn't feel like we were prepared, so we're doing stuff the day before Christmas Eve, all of that, but everything always turns out well. Everything went great. Kids are pumped. We got dirt bikes for the little guys. A little bit of road rash, like 10 minutes in, but everyone's still out there riding.
You got to set up those things on the back wheel. Those like a little tripod thing, little.
Yeah, they're a little older. I guess I think they're old enough that they don't need that, but they just got to fall a few times to really kind of get their bearings.
Absolutely, just like bicycle, learning how to ride a bike. I took my bike right down my front hill, right into the side of a truck.
Perfect.
Yeah, because I was told to stay here. Stay up here on the flatland. Kind of small, working on real tight quarter circles. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And then I just wanted to go ahead and go down. Didn't know the brakes. Ran right into the side of a truck. That's why my nose is the way it is, I believe.
Okay.
So, but once you do that, you learn quick. Oh, here's the brakes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what you got to do. That's old school. I love that. That's what you guys still got going on. Speaking of new school, how about the brand new Lions, AJ? Obviously, you're the all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, the former Kings of the North.
Whoa.
The winter is coming, and who is it? It's the Packers.
Yeah.
Big Bad Wolf will be joining us in about a minute or so.
Yep.
How do you feel about what Dan Campbell's been able to accomplish, how quickly he's been able to do it, AJ?
It's pretty impressive. I mean, the fact that it's been 30 years, I saw Foxy. I see how excited he is. He's pouring beer on himself. I get it. I understand. You should enjoy this moment. You really should. But I don't maybe this is just the Lions moving forward. This is just who they are and what we should expect.
And we did take a trip back in time to the old Lions as the Vikings were mounting a comeback.
Oh yeah.
They're coming. The Vikings sculling their way all the way back. Is this the same old Lions who are going to lose in devastating fashion and not get their hat and T-shirt for the first time in 30 years? Justin Jefferson's doing Justin Jefferson stuff. I believe he told somebody in a pregame show, I'm going to put on a show today. It's Christmas. It's Christmas weekend. I'm going to put on a show today. And he did. Thought they were going to do it. Thought the Lions were going to rip the happiness out of the entire city of Detroit. But instead, Bottle Rocket gets tossed. A pick is had. And the Detroit Lions have won the NFC North in their first division in 30 years. Nick Mullins goes for over 300 yards yet again. Is that a sign of things to come, especially with Matthew Stafford maybe coming to Detroit for that first playoff game? We shall see a lot of stories. Joining us now is a man who's currently quarterback of a team that won.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Big win.
Got close, but won. Jacoby Brissett, by the way.
This guy's
on fire.
Player.
Yeah.
Maybe give him 2 or 3 quarters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? See what he could do that.
Might help.
Idea.
I mean, that might be something that you might mess around, win a game.
Yes.
They don't want that.
Jacoby might do that. But instead, this team gets a big-time dub. This guy was on the active roster. Big conversation about that. 4-time NFL MVP. Merry Christmas, too. Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Whoa! Babyface. Super babyface.
What's going on, guys?
Something's different, right? What happened?
Yeah, I don't know.
You got super babyface right now.
Shaved?
Is this the what do we?
Hey, Merry Christmas,
Hey, you look amazing. You look 20, 30 years younger.
Merry Christmas.
Not that you look 20, 30 years older. You just look like a super babyface.
No, I get it. I think I did. That's why I probably shaved.
No, what I'm saying is you look good, but you did. It was just different.
That's kind of a backhanded compliment.
Well, Artie Smith said I gave him the same thing. I don't mean to always do this, but it does appear to be the way I speak. I'm from Pittsburgh. I apologize. Merry Christmas. You look fantastic. Let's dive right in. Big time win. Let's go. What are we seeing? What are we doing? How are we feeling it?
Well, I feel good about it. Obviously, we had a big lead there, 27-7. They came back, and Greg hit an unbelievable 54-yarder to win. But a lot of great performances on Sunday. want to highlight Breece Hall. Breece, 95 plus yards receiving and rushing, and he's done it twice. And I saw a stat that said he's done it in like 22 games, and the other guys who've done it, it's been over 100 games. So big shout out to Breece. He's a talented guy. This was an awesomely blocked play on the front side. And, give him a little bit of crease. He's going to go the distance. But I'm proud of Trevor. I thought Trevor
Don't
played a
give
nice
Breece
game.
the crease.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
But, it was a good win for us. It's fun. It's always more fun when you win. We got a short week now. We play Cleveland on Thursday, and which a lot of good storylines there. Joe Flacco's starting to quarterback for them. And we can only play spoilers, so we'll try and do our best.
Go ahead, AJ.
Hey, how impressive is it to watch Joe Flacco play, coming off the couch, driving his kids around and all that stuff he talked about early in the year, and then now how productive he is being on the field? Like, could you describe how difficult that might be to someone that doesn't really understand that?
I don't think anybody can understand it unless you realize how difficult it is when you get older, just to kind of stay in shape. If you're not working, and I'm assuming he was working, but to not have any training camp, any off season, and to just come in off the couch and be able to play like he's played. I look at the first game he played, and I feel like they went right down the field on one of the first drives, if not the first drive, and he threw a kind of classic Joe Flacco one ball for a touchdown, and that probably got him going pretty good. But Joe is one of the prettiest throwers of the football I think that I've seen in our time. He's got kind of that longer delivery, but the ball comes off nice. You watch what Coop did in the game. I mean, he was fantastic. 265 yards receiving is ridiculous. But Joe has always been a great deep ball thrower, and he had a couple obviously dimes. Look at that, just like deep out. Here's the awesome throw. Put some top on it, and then letting Coop just use his body and make a play. Always been a fan of Amari's, and happy for Joe. I don't really know Joe personally. I've kind of run into him a few times over the years, but always am told that we would be friends if we spent time together for whatever that means. So,
Joe dabbles with ayahuasca.
Well.
Maybe that's what he was doing the whole first half of the season.
Could have been.
Plants.
Could have been.
Yeah, not 100% sure. We've talked to Joe Flacco before. How'd it go?
Yeah, he basically just said, "Hey guys," and then that was it.
Yeah, somebody was doing our show from a building, Denver.
Yeah, it was Denver. Yep.
It was Brandon McManus was doing our show in Denver from like the Players Lounge. Like we FaceTimed him randomly, and he was like, "Yeah, a couple of the boys are here. Joe's here." We're like, "Joe's there? Flacco's there?" He turned, and Flacco goes, "Hey guys," and then he just walked off. Yep. It was like Flacco's on the show. Flacco's been on the show. We don't know him at all either.
So cool.
What's that?
Joe Cool. Yep. Joe Cool, man. This is so cool.
I don't think he talks to anybody. Even when he was at Baltimore, right, for so long. I don't think there's a lot of, he just kind of handled his business. He said, I guess it's allegedly come out, I don't know if he said it, that whenever you got injured, he called the Jets and was like, "Hey, is there any interest?" They said no. So, like, I assume the Jets aren't the only team in which his agent or he reached out to. It's like, nobody wanted this guy either. He thought there was a chance maybe it was over. It's been fun to watch that. A lot of good stories in the NFL right now. One that kicked, every other story to the side there for a little bit because it involves you and the New York Jets. So you got put on the active roster after your 21-day window closed last week. Okay, 21-day window to make a decision on whether he's going to be active or he's going to be IR for the rest of the season. This is the NFL. This is the NFL's rules. So whenever you go to the active roster, Nick Big Bottom Bodden is his name.
That's right.
Gets sent off the team. Okay, down to the practice squad, I do believe. He's been in the NFL 6 years, fully vested, so his contract is guaranteed throughout the entire season. This became a massive conversation because if you're not going to play, why are you taking Nick Big Bottom's spot? Why are you doing this? You're a bad guy. And now I assume that there is some sort of conversation that you would like to have or inform people of why this took place, how this took place. Practice, is that the reason? Is there a chance you play? What happened there behind the scenes? And when did you hear how pissed off people were about you getting put on the active roster last week?
Well, I figured there'd be some conversation about it. The story is simple. We lost to the previous week. And I was, again, targeting the 24th to come back. So I assumed I was going to go on IR. I asked to be put on IR because, there was a conversation, do you want to practice? And I said, not at the expense of somebody getting cut. I know how this works, and I didn't need to feel like I needed to practice to continue my rehab. I could do on-the-field stuff on the side. But obviously, I got overruled there. It is what it is. And yeah, that was an interesting situation. I called Nick right away. I just said, hey, I just hope you know this isn't coming from me. I asked him to put me on IR. But he actually said, hey, look, I'm vested. I'm getting my money. I'm fine. Don't worry about me. He would have got elevated this last week if he'd been healthy, but he'll be back up this week, I'm sure. But it's the same old thing. It's the same people with the same comments. I think what we should do, Pat, is the same people who are criticizing me, or coming up with these conspiracies, about my injury or whatever. Before they talk, let's go back to 2021 and let's make people say their vax status to start. Then that'll frame all these comments in the right window.
Okay.
So before they say something, let's have them say, and ESPN's probably going to shut us off here, but let's have them say, hey, I'm so-and-so, double vaxxed with Pfizer and triple boosted, and my opinion about this is this guy's a bad guy because he just wanted to practice and took money away. Then at least you'd know, and everybody could know at that point, that they have their puppet masters who are puppeteering them to say this certain thing about this guy, and that they're still upset about the fact that I believe in medical freedom. So it's the same tired narrative, and it's an interesting spot for me because I'm basically just saying, hey, IR, right? Let's just this season, is over for me. Again, I got overruled, so because of that, I was on the practice field. I love the practice. Didn't want it to be at the expense, of a teammate. But again, that's out of my control. But again, it's the same people. So let's make sure we're asking the right questions to these people before they start spouting off, so we can actually frame each one of these specific comments in the right perspective.
I'm not sure we're ever going to be able to get that passed, but I do appreciate that you at least look into some of these people and be like, oh, I wonder what this person has said about me maybe 2 years ago while I was in the middle of winning an MVP and other stuff. And there's a lot of that has happened against you. We got to ride alongside of that, by the way. And that still is lingering effect of it all, let alone people that have never really heard you speak. Go ahead.
They're still mad I'm I'm co-ed MVP, not just the 2 MVPs that I won, but also because I didn't bow down to the medical industrial complex and the mass formation psychosis, and I decided to make a decision that was in the best interest of my health.
Of course.
And they're still trying to get their jabs in. They're still trying to take a victory lap that somehow I couldn't beat science this time. It's right. Like, oh really? I was on the practice field 11 weeks. I was in line to be able to push to play in after 14 weeks. So take it easy on the victory laps and have another jab while you're at it.
Okay. Well, I don't know if they'll do that. I hope they're remaining same. Are those still? Those are still.
Oh yeah.
I'm watching.
2-1, baby.
Yeah, I'm still watching. I'm watching the commercials for it. What'd you say? Mass formation psychosis? Is that what you said there in the middle of that thing?
Yeah. That's a good one. Look that one up. I know Connor knows about that one.
Oh, yeah.
Look that one up.
As soon as it came out of your mouth, my brain was like, where that has to be something. Yeah. Where the hell? Now, the journalist in me should ask a follow-up for you to explain that all. But I think the people that don't call me a journalist for that thing would not be happy if you were to explain that. So I think it is an interesting, little give and take on how some people feel about stuff, especially because of things that have happened in the past. But let's talk about your practicing and you being back on the field. You were throwing with flight school, and I think that was mass formation psychosis as well.
There it is.
All getting on the same page. Hey.
Yep.
Everybody's got to be mass formation psychosis.
Exactly.
Right on the same there. And look how happy you are every time it's said. I cannot wait to find out what the hell this means or where it came from. But you were doing flight school. Okay, you were doing flight school. You're throwing to the practice squad guys after practice. You were doing your thing. Now, I guess you played corner and you had a jumping, spinning interception last week that obviously captivated headlines and conversation because they said this guy might actually be back healthy. What are we doing? Now, are you running quarterback against the scout team? How do you feel? How are you playing? And what do the next few weeks look like for you?
Well, we had mostly walked through last week, and then Friday we had like a helmets practice, so I took all the look team 11 on 11 reps, and then today is a walkthrough. Tomorrow's more of a, I think, helmet practice. So I'll take the scout team reps there. It was good practice on Friday. I feel really good. I'm obviously bummed out about the season and not getting a chance to get back on the field. But it is what it is. I think you just got to figure out where your perspective is and your focus is. And the holidays help you with that. If you're sitting around counting the things you don't have, you'll miss out on the blessings that are around you. So I'm thankful for a lot of things that happened this season, not for the injured part, but there was a lot of little miracles along the way, friendships and special people who showed up for me, and just little blessings in the midst of the frustration. So a good time to reflect over Christmas, even though we were in the building yesterday for a little bit. But I'll be excited to close out the season and then look forward to coming back next year and the years to come.
Are you spending it? We're spending it right now. We feel good.
Yeah, I feel great. I really do. My body feels good. Not able to reach a top speed, which who knows what that is for me these days. But
running or throwing? Running or throwing?
No. The arm is good. The throwing. I've been throwing since a lot since week 8. So 8 weeks post surgery. So this is 15 tomorrow. So arm feels great. Back to all my workouts, squatting, everything. It's just I can't sprint. Whatever my full speed was, but the running's been good. I'm able to move around laterally, and so it's good to feel more like myself. It's good to be with the guys. Like I love. I've always loved practice and love competing, but obviously wish there was something to play for playoff wise.
Yeah, I think we all thought that storybook ending was going to come to be what it was. And I didn't understand the reaction whenever you said, like, you're not going to play now because the team has been eliminated. That was the plan this whole time. You know what I mean? Team's still alive, mathematically still alive, and you feel healthy enough to get on the field, you were going to play. Like, that was kind of what the story was this entire time. But the people who we did not ask, the qualifying question.
Yeah, should have asked the vac status there. Yeah, I didn't quite understand it either. I think the whole point was, if we won against Miami, then the plan was to take 11 on 11 reps for the first team, and then see how I responded. What I was saying was, there's no guarantee I would have been cleared because I would have to respond the right way, and then Mr. Johnson. Joe Douglas, Salah, everybody, Dave, Neil Elitrosh, Heather, everybody would have got together and said, yes, we feel comfortable allowing him to play, along with, no setbacks during the week of practice. But, it's the what if game, which is hard to go down, but that would have been the week schedule. So I think some of this stuff was a little bit kind of taken out of context when I said, I just wanted to remind people, it wasn't a guarantee. We beat Miami, always playing, but that would have been the week schedule that we would have gone down, was to try and get ready to play. So because we got eliminated, and that was my whole point. Yeah, I'm not 100%, but the willingness to play and being cleared to play wasn't dependent on 100%. It was dependent on how I looked in practice, how I responded, and my ability to move in a small area and to play under center, which I've proven in practice that I can do that. So, but the whole point was, if you're not 100% and we're out of the playoffs, they're not going to clear you. My story about 2018 was I was, nobody's 100% late in the season, but I was, as good as I could be in 2018, and I wanted to play even though we were eliminated from playoff contention, because I wanted to play for Joe Philbin, our interim head coach. Thought that was the right thing to do instead of shut it down, and that's why I played. Different situation, when you're not 100% healthy, obviously.
Well, in the last game of the year there, I believe, against the Lions, right? Was it against the Lions?
You were there.
Yeah.
I took a clothesline. Kind of like the one that AJ gave me in the 2006 family night scrimmage.
AJ, in front of the families, huh? Wow, hope you're happy. Had to do it. Did you flip off your coaches, too, immediately afterwards?
Yeah, well, Aaron was is playing quarterback when he's not live, wearing a red jersey in a scrimmage in the stadium that was full, and he's pulling keepers and running the ball around the edge and trying to juke people out, and we're not allowed to hit him, and he gets upset if someone gives him a little shove after the whistle.
AJ, you were representing the entire defense at that exact point, huh? That's what you're doing?
All of Lambeau. Just all of Lambeau. Yeah. I was trying
I think the fans are probably like, ooh,
sweet.
You know, and everybody on defense was doing a whole. AJ was being a leader there, Aaron. You know, a real leader at that moment.
Tone setter.
Killer. You don't agree with that?
I have another word for it, but yeah, well, I'll share that.
Mass hysteria. That's what. That's what. Yeah, I think that is the. Anyway, speaking of mass hysteria, Tone has a question for you.
Yeah, Aaron, did you notice yesterday on social media any extra Merry Christmases to you from Detroit since now that you have left the division? They have won their first division title in 30 years, and how do you feel about the Detroit Lions finally doing it?
I'm not happy. I mean, although I'm in New York, I definitely still want the green and gold to take the North every year.
Oh, yeah.
But they got a good football team. Jarrett's had a really nice season. Obviously, St. Brown is a fantastic receiver. They got a lot of guys, two really good backs. Jameer's had a really nice year, and always been a fan of Montgomery, the way he runs the ball, his toughness. Line's really good on both sides of the ball. Defense been playing good. So they got a good football team. So they're going to, host a playoff game. I think the NFC is pretty deep. I think we can all agree on that, right? When we saw, there's got to be some NFC teams feeling better if they watched that game yesterday and saw how Baltimore, beat San Fran. Philly's been up and down. Dallas has been up and down. Detroit's, had their moments too where they haven't looked great. Probably should have lost to the Bears. Packers beat them in Detroit. So, I think the NFC is pretty wide open. AFC is interesting. Obviously, Baltimore looks really, really strong. There's a lot of teams still alive for kind of the 7th spot. Buffalo's ascending. Josh is playing really good football, and they're starting to run the football well. So it's going to be interesting the last couple of weeks. A lot to play for a lot of these teams. There'll be elimination games. I think Green Bay plays Minnesota this week, and that's kind of an elimination. I guess it is an elimination game unless some crazy stuff happens. So where's that game at, Ty? Is that Lambeau or is that?
I believe it's at Lambeau, but it actually might be in Minnesota.
Oh no, because Kirk got hurt at Lambeau.
Yeah.
So it must be at that other stadium.
No.
Goal.
No.
Goal. No. Do you hear that in your nightmares, Aaron? Huh?
Lions actually did that too.
No.
It gets.
But I'll tell you what, it's looking like the loser of that game is going to host the New York Jets.
Yeah.
Next year.
Oh, really? Ooh. Well, because the way schedules are set up.
Well, I mean, there would still be some interesting Week 18 scenarios, but it looks like now, obviously it'd be fun to play in Lambeau, and that'd be hyped. It'd be fun to play in Soldier Field as well because I had decent success there over the years. So I don't know if there's probably a world in which Chicago wins their last couple, and then either one of those two teams lose their last couple. So hopefully Minnesota, and then we could play in Chicago next year.
Yeah, that'd be great to get you back to Chicago. I know the Chicago residents have been missing you.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Chicago, how about Justin Fields?
There'd be a warm reception.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Now, let's say you were to play at Lambeau. How do you think that would go? Obviously, we got a pregame video. We got a pregame video. You'll get all emotional.
Yep, nice package.
You'll get emotional. It'll be super cute.
Guy who looks just like Aaron will be in the stands, and they'll show him 50 times.
Remember, this guy had a run, too.
Yeah.
Now, he can't just shave and look like 20 years younger. That guy's stuck with that face.
True.
Which, that's him. He's had a good run here. How do you think that would go if you were to play at Lambeau?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I was there in 2009 when Brett came back, and that was, I think there was some cheers for sure. There were some boos as well. He played pretty friggin' lights out that day, if I remember correctly. I think he threw 4 touchdowns, and Although Spencer Havener had 2 touchdowns for us that game, I think we came up a little short in the end. And then the next year when they came back, we beat them in another tight one. I think it was like 26-21 or something. But yeah, those were emotional games. I mean, the first time we played, I believe, was at the old Metrodome on a Monday night in 2009, and that was crazy electric. That was a wild night. And I actually played halfway decent, but Farvey, again, played unbelievable, and they beat us. So there was a lot of energy. It'd be emotional for sure. But yeah, definitely hoping for Lambeau or Soldier Field.
Yeah, that'd be fun for all of us, I think. And let's put that in the middle of the season at primetime. Ooh. Because middle of the season primetime game is kind of down. That seems like a lock. Oh, yeah. That feels like we got one in the bag if we need it for next year. Excited to see you return to the Jets. I think Jets fans also getting you back on board with this is how, here we go. I think, not all of them, but I think there is a momentum towards next season that we're all pumped about. Speaking of momentum, seems like it's lost in one particular place. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, Aaron, you're no stranger to this because it seemed like the cameras used to get you, like when you'd be pissed. There's obviously that GIF on Twitter of you throwing the Microsoft Surface. But for whatever reason, we never used to see that, in the first several years of Patrick Mahomes' career. And then, like, the last 4 weeks or whatever, like, every time the camera shows him on the sideline, he's either ripping someone apart or yelling at somebody or getting pissed. Like, do you think with the way they've been playing, that's just like a culmination of him kind of always having to be perfect, if you will, or, he's the poster boy for a lot of stuff, and he's kind of just starting to lose his shit because they're starting to lose games, and people are talking about the drops and his receivers and them not playing their best football and the dynasty might be over? Like, what's your take on all the stuff going on with Mahomes right now?
I would say mostly overreaction.
No.
I think, yeah.
What?
I think the first shot was him talking to his line. That's fine. I mean, listen, we've all had outbursts in the sidelines, yelling matches or throwing stuff. I never really threw my helmet. I don't think. Somebody probably find a clip of me doing it at some point, but I tossed a few surfaces over the years and did some yelling, mostly to myself or just out loud or up in the air, some colorful metaphors. But it's an emotional game, and he's hyper competitive. Watching the game yesterday, obviously I'm a big fan of Pat's and love watching him play. To me, it seems like it's tough right now because there's not a lot of on-time throws. Pat's so good, with the second reaction stuff. And even yesterday, he made just silly plays, where he's extending, a late throw or moving up in the pocket, pump fake, making stuff happen. The touchdown he had where he kind of moved left, moved right, threw back across his body. I just think there's too much of that. They're relying too much on that, and he needs some. We all do. We need some rhythm throws, and so it seemed like yesterday it was like either a screen to Rice or Kelsey, or it was like Pat just running around. So some more easy throws I think would be good, but again, the AFC. I mean, I know Pat has never played a playoff game on the road. Who gives a shit? Like it's still him, and obviously they have a lot of talent on both sides of the ball. They have great coordinators. They're going to be a tough out for anybody. But it's interesting, that team is really good. I think Buffalo is really good. As good as Baltimore is, I don't think there's anybody on either side, like we felt about San Francisco earlier in the season, where these guys are going to steamroll everybody. And San Francisco is still really good, really good.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like
they're dead. Remember?
Yeah, it's over.
They're dead. They're
Done.
dead. It's figured out. Not that Baltimore's defense like number one in the league and might be tough to play.
Offense.
And they have good night. And the football gods, Brock Purdy, like you get nothing.
Slaughtered.
Well, Brock's had a great year, and we all have nights where we struggle. And you had multiple bounces kind of go against them. This was just not a great read And I don't really understand the concept on the backside, to be honest, because there's nothing really holding the backside safety. They ran an under and a kind of stick return. So if they had maybe run Kittle on a corner route here, then Hamilton's probably held, and then he can make that throw in there.
Of course.
But
that's what I thought too. That's what I thought.
But listen, Brock's had a really nice season. I'm going to segue and offer this up to the panel here. And obviously I'm a little biased because of the position I play. And MVP has really become a best quarterback award, or best quarterback on the best team award. Quarterback on the best team award, or the running back can get or a receiver, if they had 2,000 yards, right? Is this a year where it's just going to go to the quarterback on the best team, or does a guy like CMC have a chance to legitimately win this, or Tyreek Hill? Is Mostert on there? I mean, he's got like 20 touchdowns too. I guess he's not. Right?
21.
Yeah. Is this just what are the odds now? Okay, so Lamar's number one. Then what? McCaffrey. Who is that? Tua, Josh, Brock, Dak, Tyreek, and Jalen. Yeah, so it's basically Tyreek, who's leading the league by a couple hundred yards at receiver, and CMC, who I believe is a couple hundred yards up as well. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think both those guys deserve a lot of consideration. The other guy, and I saw some stats, and I know Josh has had turnovers this year, but the guy has 40 combined touchdowns again in 4 straight years. And the team has been, they won 4 straight, I believe. And 3 of those were pretty damn good opponents, playoff teams. If they finish the last 2 and win out, and if Miami loses their next one, the week 18 is going to be for the division. So
Bills would be 11-6 then.
Ooh.
Pretty good record.
And I think
it looks a little bit more appetizing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Well, what if Josh has 8 touchdowns the last 2 weeks and finishes with 48 combined touchdowns? How do you not put him in the conversation?
Well, it does feel like there is a chance that somebody here at the end could come win this thing, because every single week, and D-Butt was actually going to bring this up because you won an MVP 4 times, and I think J.J. Watt would say, one of the times you won it, he's potentially Christian McCaffrey or Tyreek Hill in this particular situation. He's brought that up a few times. Just while JJ, I don't know how often you talk to JJ. That is something that is in the back of his mind.
Oh, petty.
It is right here. You need to know that when you're talking to him. He's like, hey, Burnley's fun, doing this. It's a blast. Right back.
You agree with him?
What year was he talking about? 2014?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I believe it was.
I think it's 14. Yeah.
16 as well, because he said he had touchdowns that year.
Yeah, he said like the MVP, there's 2 different awards. There needs to be the best player and then the MVP. He said the most valuable player will always be a quarterback. Touches the ball every single play, has to make every decision, will have to make the wide receivers good, has to make the team good. Definitely the most valuable player is always going to be a quarterback, he said. But there should be a best player award as well. And he thought about that after losing to you and sitting in a car afterwards, so pissed off about life. That's what I think happened personally, Aaron.
What, in 2012, where we had 6 touchdowns against them, or what's he talking about?
2014 here. This is the year he had. The Texans have got his back. 5 touchdowns, 3 receiving, 20 and a half sacks. I think it's a record, close, 22 and a half?
22 and a half.
Yeah. 22 and a half. 78 tackles, 5 fumble recovers, 1 interception, 1 forced safety, all pro. Now that is...
29 TFLs.
Oh, he was D end and D tackle, all pros. He was all pro at 2 positions.
Yeah.
It's a good year.
That's a great year. Yeah, really good year.
What did you cooked? You cooked that year. You had to have had a great one in 2014.
38 and 5.
38 touchdowns.
Not bad.
So JJ got to the point where he started looking at your stats. He was like, all right, that guy had a great year. Is valuable or is it best? We know you have to go.
Listen, JJ, hey, he had a great career. He's a yellow jacket guy. I mean, I think I'm gonna be able to hold that over him for the rest of our lives, which is great.
When you guys are in the Hall of Fame, family portrait, just standing right over JJ.
Yep.
Just the whole time. Just
hand on his shoulder.
Man, it might have been like a 2-minute discussion instead of a 5-minute discussion for you to get in the Hall of Fame if you had won the MVP. Just couldn't do it, could you? Just couldn't do it, JJ. Aaron, enjoy the rest of the day. We appreciate you joining us, and I'm happy, that You're not on IR and away from the building and not able to do anything. I'm happy you're practicing with the boys.
I wasn't going anywhere anyway, though. I mean, I said from the time I got back from the West Coast, I wasn't going anywhere. But listen, I love the guys.
Dolphins are boning right now, too, out there in L.A. That's a big sacrifice. You could be watching and healing with them.
Yeah, it's whale season, too. The humpbacks are giving birth. So, you know, they're
doing this one, too. They're doing this one. Jumping straight out and then just falling into the water. Oh, that's a 10-story building that just jumped out of the water right there because they're so excited about what they're doing under the water. Outside this guy's house.
Yeah.
He said, I don't need to see it. I don't need to see any erections. Right? You know what you said?
I would no. I mean, I was going to say the frequency associated with the whale birthing process is actually supposedly very beneficial to
vaccinations,
various, injury recovery stuff. I don't think it can cleanse your body of some of the spike protein, but it's supposed to be pretty good for it.
Damn it. It does make you immunized, though, I heard. You know what I mean? Heard you'll be immunized through it all. Anyways, enjoy your day. You dropped a couple bombs in there early.
It was sweet.
Excited to see the reactions to that whole thing. You know what I mean? Anytime you're saying ESPN's probably taking us off TV right now, you're in the middle one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're in the middle one. We appreciate that. We do. We genuinely enjoy talking to you. Merry Christmas. Thank you for making time. We'll see you next week. Ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, see you next year.
Yes.
Oh! Ooh.
First one.
Pretty
First
good.
one I've heard.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's why.
Yep.
Aaron Rodgers. That's why the Celebrity Jeopardy thing just killed.
Bingo.
Boom.
He saw the opportunity. He prepared for that opportunity.
Yeah.
Yes.
He knew.
He knew. See you next year, Aaron. So, mass formation
psychosis.
Formation psychosis.
Yeah, there it is.
He felt so good as that one was. And those people who are puppets to the mass formation psychosis.
I had one. I had a follow-up to that one, too.
He was ready today.
I'm sure you did. You know, I'm vaccinated. Hey.
Yep. That's right. We all got it.
Vaccinated.
Yeah.
Right here.
I still got my card. Found it yesterday.
I didn't get to ask him though. Is there any unvaxxed? Like, well, how do you respond to unvaxxed people that criticize?
Yeah. What if they go? Hey, Clay Travis. You know, which
Sure.
we assume.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers taking the spot of blah blah blah? You know, and then Clay Travis goes, "I am not vaxxed. I'm not a puppet. Corporate machine. Would never do it. I don't like it." Like, would he be mad?
Yeah.
I don't know. That is an interesting thought.
Next year, we'll ask him next year, I guess.
We will.
Yeah.
We will. I don't know if he just thought that should become a new rule, though, but he was making reference to how basically a couple years ago, everywhere he went, it was announced, this guy.
Yeah, there he is.
You remember. He heard it. He became the face of it. And once again, I got vaccinated. Had to, literally, for my working life at the time. Literally had to do it. So I did it, okay? Listen, here we go. Had 104.5-degree fever. What was it, 4 weeks after getting vaccinated?
Twice, right?
Yeah, boom.
Yeah.
So I had it. So whether that's natural immunization, vaccination from having it, or the shot or whatever that. So during that entire time that Aaron was having this conversation with the super vax people, boy, I'm sitting there like vaccinated with like a couple of antibodies in there. And I'm just trying to tell them like, hey, people are allowed to have their own thoughts. You know, which I think is what he's been preaching this entire time. But that's not what the internet's going to say later, what he said.
No.
That ain't going to be the case at all. Everybody did have the same thoughts about that Niners-Ravens game, though. Yep. You know, even Aaron alluded to it. He was like, hey, the Niners really the only team we all thought. Everybody thought, hey, they're a little bit of a wagon. That team's a buzzsaw. You don't want to play them. The Ravens heard that. 5.5-point underdogs. They said that was disrespectful. Now we understand why they were saying that. This team has been consistently dominant. Yeah, they haven't been perfect, okay? Brand new OC, have had to figure some things out, had some tight games, had a loss to the Colts, I believe, in there. They got that guy who's a freak show, Zay Flowers. But also, this feels like a much more season-ready Lamar Jackson. Has the big deal, has the MVP, has an offense he likes, has weapons he likes, has a number one defense in the NFL. It's like, why not the Ravens after watching last night? And how pumped were we all, AJ, that they reminded the world that everybody doubted them because they were the only ones that believed in them, I think, last night, AJ. That's the best place to be for a coach.
Oh, no question. Watching them play, I guess, especially go on the road and get a big win like this, like you saw how excited and pumped they were. I mean, it's real. Like, the motivation is real. When people doubt you, when people publicly talk about your team and you take it Like, and you think that's offensive in how they're speaking about you, there's a lot of energy. There's a lot of power in that. I feel like this team, it brings them together. Like, the more people may dump on them from the outside, the more it brings this whole squad together. And obviously Lamar is just so dynamic, does things that nobody else can do. And, man, they are – credit to their defense, though, as well. Their D-line, man, they got a lot of – even though they didn't get a ton of sacks, they get a bunch of pressure, I feel like, and Brock Purdy was never comfortable.
That's always available right there.
Mm-hmm.
That one. You know what I mean? That play is always available.
How tired are you? How tired is the whole – like, his defense when you're chasing this guy? Like, every single play is – a full-speed sprint in 35 different directions if you're trying to tackle this guy.
Yeah, go back. Rewind 1 second.
Steve Wilkes mentioned it, too. He was like, Lamar Jackson's one of those two-play quarterbacks. Like, you got to guard the first play, and they were probably in great position initially, whatever quarters, cover through, whatever it is. And now, now it's time for the second play, the backyard ball. And, Aaron mentioned it with Josh. You do want to see some more on-time, on-rhythm throws. You don't want him to have to be great down after down, but when he does pull it down and just tuck it and run, it's special every time it seems.
And he avoids taking the big hit, which is huge. He'll even cut, juke, get more yardage, even maybe take a little bit of contact, but avoids the big hit. That's a trait. That's a skill. Yep. You're talking about how tired somebody is. Look at old buddy in the back here. 98 there. He's about to fall over on his face. And I can understand why. It would get exhausting. And remember what Bosa and that D-line said about the Philadelphia Eagles. They said, we hope everybody watches what we did and kind of do what we did against Philadelphia Eagles because home field advantage was still on the line for the NFC. I thought they were going to have a great plan for Lamar. I don't know if those exist.
No.
I don't know if those exist, actually, legitimately.
Yeah, how could they? Like, you cannot simulate that. There's no way you can put a wide receiver at quarterback. You can't simulate what he can do. And I'm never going to say, like, they embarrassed anyone. But when was the last time we saw Fred Warner flying around and Zay Flowers is making a cut or Lamar's making a cut? And, I mean, they got guys like Nelson Aguilar scoring touchdowns. It's not like Lamar is going out there. We're talking about, Mahomes and how he's throwing to nobody. Lamar Jackson's got Aguilar, a backup tight end, who's a stud, likely a rookie wide receiver, and then Rashad Bateman. It's not as
and Odell Beckham Jr.
Of course, and Odell Beckham Jr. Of course, but this time of year, a lot of parties. Who knows what he's doing in his free time? Just kidding. But still,
great Sully.
Either way, like they are the class now. It seems like, and if Zay Flowers and Lamar Jackson continue to have this connection, because he had 9 for 75 in the tud, no one could cover him. And this is a week after what Mooney last week, right? Had that pick 6 where he was moving a million miles an hour. It's not like they don't have guys that can cover. They do. It's just like these Ravens across the board, offensive line, because they handled the D line pretty well, probably better than any other team. And then the receivers and running backs. I mean, shit. J.K. Dobbins is their starting running back. He tore his Achilles. Like,
talking about Harbaugh, coach of the year.
Yeah, exactly.
Is Harbaugh coach of the year? Yeah. Is that what we're doing here? Because he brings in a new offense. He he has to make a decision. He publicly put the team in a situation where they had to pay Lamar.
Yeah. Love that.
So, we love that. Absolutely love that. So it's like, should Harbaugh be in the conversation a little bit more for coach of the year?
I mean, they should definitely get more respect, but he's been there so long, having a former MVP like Lamar and then all these studs.
They were favorites in the division.
Yeah, I can't believe they got Roquan Smith. Like, that was crazy. That is a Ravens.
Had a baby, CD baby!
Yeah. But you get him there, so he probably won't get that. And obviously what Shane's doing down here, I know we got coming off an ugly loss, what Shane's doing, D'Amico.
The Browns. The Browns
even
have
Dan
more
Campbell,
people hurt.
Browns, Dan Campbell. I mean, I think all these guys should be in consideration.
A lot of great jobs done around the NFL. Let's talk about the Cleveland Browns a little bit, shall we, with Kevin Stefanski. AJ, this is not what happens with the Cleveland Browns, okay? What happens with the Cleveland Browns, we've all seen a jersey. There's 1,000 names on it, quarterbacks. Deshaun Watson goes, all right. DTR goes, all right. Joe Flacco's name was just supposed to be on the list of names about when they were trying to find another quarterback that could maybe get in and do well. They have the pieces. Got a great defense, got a good offensive line. Kevin Stefanski, seemingly brainiac whenever it comes to football. Here we go. Can you guys win it? Got a kicker finally that can make kicks. You got a punter that can bomb at 80 yards. You got the team except for one position. Joe Flacco comes off the couch onto the Browns and just lights it up. Just lights it up. Most pass yards, I think, since the week he came into the league. in the entire NFL. And remember, offenses had not looked good around the NFL this year. And Joe Flacco just comes into an offense that he knows very well from his time with Gary Kubiak. Kevin Stefanski running the same thing, and just leads to 265 yards receiving for a wide receiver. It's a Browns record. Lighting up the scoreboard, leading the team, having a humility about him where he's like just so thankful to be there. And then that one Aaron talked about, he put a little top on it. He has different throws. I mean, this guy was on the bench. He called the Jets. He called the Jets and said, I can be your quarterback. He called other teams, AJ. Now the Browns, real conversation, real contenders.
I see some of Flacco's throws. So first off, he does make it look kind of effortless, and what a beautiful throw right there and catch by Njoku. Man, it's beautiful. But I've seen there's times when Flacco will be like on the opposite hash. He'll throw like a 15-yard out to the opposite sideline, and he makes it look easy when it's such a difficult throw.
There it is.
Look at,
and that's popping through his hands, by the way. That popping through his hands. Go ahead, D-Buck.
Oh, yeah. Now, the 4th and 8 throw he had with somebody on his legs, threw it to the sideline of Amari Cooper. I don't know what Amari Cooper had for breakfast. He's obviously a dog, but I mean, he's got to
love Joe Flacco.
That was one of the most unbelievable performances I've seen from Wide. But this throw right here, this is in the grass with 3 linemen.
Unbelievable. Hey, congrats to the Browns.
I mean, what?
And now the Texans, couple weeks here, it's going to be tough. But obviously, remember, without your quarterback playing, things might be a little bit different. Dougie Davis Mills almost made that a game.
Yeah.
They had to put Joe Flacco back in the game. DTR, obviously, he got injured and he's out to IR, I believe. But they had to bring Joe Flacco back in. He just walked right down the field again. It's like these dudes are phenomenal in Cleveland right now. Congrats to all parties over there. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first time we get to do this.
Ooh.
After this show on ESPN, we will continue on YouTube and ESPN Plus. But after this show on ESPN, we got the Quick Lane Bowl.
Wow.
Bowling Green taking on Minnesota. Dahn Diggs in about 10 minutes. What game is kicking off on ESPN?
Boy, oh boy, do we have a treat for you
Oh,
today.
yeah.
Let's go. Bowl season carries on in the Quick Lane Bowl in Detroit, Michigan at Ford Field. Bowling Green against the Minnesota Gophers, who are favored by 3.5 points. Should we watch this one? Absolutely. Why? Because Bowling Green's an absolute wagon. Okay?
Whoa.
Okay.
7-5. I believe they were 3rd in the MAC. I mean, they are an unbelievable team. Minnesota, 5-7. Tone, why is a 5-7 team in a bowl game?
Yeah.
Okay, because they had the best academics, and there wasn't enough 6-6 teams to fill the bowl season.
Oh,
okay?
this is smart. This is smart bunch.
Yeah, smart bunch. Okay.
Boo.
Obviously,
What?
nerd. Whoa.
We're not here for the school, some people say, but they say our school got us in a bowl game.
PJ Fleck's gonna have
Quick Lane
those
Bowl.
boys rolling. Okay. The quarterback for the Gophers has thrown 14 career passes in his life. Cole Kramer there, so that'll be fun. Connor Bazelak, I believe he transferred from Missouri. This is the 102nd offense versus the 122nd.
Oh,
offense.
good matchup.
Okay. Yeah. There's gonna be a lot of fireworks in this one. Fun fact: 2021. Bowling Green beat Minnesota in a bowl game. Minnesota was 31-point favorites in that one.
Wow.
So
Bowling Green might have their number.
Yeah, or is a little motivation, a little get back from Minnesota in this one. It's going to be a fun one here coming here at 2 o'clock after we're done. I believe it's the lowest total in bowl games, 41, I believe is the total. 41.5.
So what were these offenses ranked?
102nd and 122nd.
Out of 200?
Expect fireworks. No, out of 130.
One.
Oh,
One.
131, I believe.
Okay.
All right, well, I can't wait for Quick Lane Bowl.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Up there in Detroit, we're going to have a little, we'll do our show, and then we'll watch it. After our show, we will watch it. Congrats to ESPN crushing bowl season. Did you guys see that Eastern Michigan kid? He was not happy.
No,
that was crazy.
He was not happy.
No. Something happened.
I don't think you should have a 40-yard lead up to a shot to the back of somebody's head with,
soft.
Whole team's right there.
Yeah, you said soft. Like,
not a fan of sucker punches.
yeah, you look like a little bitch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what everybody said. Like, Eastern Michigan lost so bad that this is what their players are doing. You make the whole program look
real
like
bad.
that. You make the whole program look like that. So that wasn't good. But yesterday, the NBA all day, ESPN. Last night, Celtics Lakers, ESPN. ABC, Ravens Niners. Spending money. Hey, appreciate that. Appreciate that. Legit, that's a big deal, especially with all these streaming rights deals seemingly being up in the air everywhere. It was nice yesterday that ESPN just kicked ass throughout the entire. I didn't watch a single one of those NBA games. But they were on.
They were.
I felt a little weird not watching any NBA on Christmas.
I kind of did too.
That's kind of when I
from 12 to
dabble in.
From 12 to 1, you didn't get it?
No.
I kind of felt weird too, by the way. because I'm not an NBA guy either. It's just kind of what Christmas is. LeBron has been on Christmas. Kobe has been on Christmas.
Steph.
Like, that's just what Christmas has always been. And then Roger Goodell, hi, he, we. It's ours now.
Yep.
Shout out to us. Assholes everywhere. But that Quick Lane Bowl is going to be on in about 7 minutes. We will continue on YouTube and ESPN Plus. From AJ Hawk, the boys, myself, everybody in the back, we hope you have a Merry Christmas week, and we will see you tomorrow. Goodbye. Nailed it.
Bingo.
Nailed it.
Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely nailed it. Team.
Nice.
Didn't start the music till late. I appreciated that. A little less music. We turned the music on for Big Perk. I don't know.
Power.
No,
Awesome.
yeah.
I was watching you, watching the clock, watching you. I was like, yes.
It was a good take. I even gave an all right Perk.
Said,
with
no.
I thought his take was done. It wasn't.
Yep.
You know, that's on me.
He's great, by the way. He's great, by the way. I've been watching him on TV more and more. He's awesome.
He's entertaining, man. Like 16 years in the NBA, too. Champion. Been there.
Oh, yeah.
Literally everything. So it's like his delivery is certainly different, which is why we
love him.
Which is why we enjoy Big Perk.
I wanted to ask AJ a question. I wrote it down. It felt like AJ was in the right. How hard did you hit Aaron, though?
Yeah.
How hard did I hit him? Oh, not that hard. He was amazing. He was calling his own number when he's not even live. And it was great because McCarthy brought it up in the meeting the next day, too. It was awesome.
McCarthy brought it up because of the shot you gave to him. Now, you did that.
No. He, not to me. Aaron pulled a ball. I think there was a play where he wasn't supposed to pull it. He pulls it, goes around the edge, and jumps in and scores a touchdown over a couple DBs. And the DBs are like, we're not going to hit this dude. And so I think it was but then the crowd goes wild. You know, it's sold out for a scrimmage. That's how Green Bay is.
Did he spike it?
It was awesome. Yeah, no, he did. He spiked it huge. Yeah.
In your face, bitch!
We're everyone's like, wait, what? Is he live? Like, what are we doing now? Like, no, he's still not live. Oh, cool. Okay.
So then, right afterwards, on the sideline, there was a lot of conversation about what are we supposed to do, and then that's when you clotheslined him.
AJ said, "I'll give him a shot."
No, I don't know. I didn't clothesline. I think I just stopped him. He was trying to run through our defense, and I think we just stopped him.
Dominican Sue.
Wow.
No. Stop. S-T-O-P.
Stop. I thought you said after he scored a touchdown,
I think we just held him up.
Swim.
I think we just thudded him up and held him up, and he's trying to keep going. Like, no, this is not what's happening.
Hey, listen, enough with the little shit.
Done with it.
Huh? You like that? You feel that?
You know that reaction in practice. You stud up a
quarterback in
Andrew
red
Luck or Peyton Manning or Aaron Rodgers. Like, whoa, but AJ get away with that, though.
Well, that's why he did it. Yeah, he was doing it for the entire team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was doing it for the entire defense.
We're tired. We're those scrimmages, you're on a 15-play drive, and this dude's keeping the ball. I'm like, come on. What are we doing?
I love how mad you got while everybody else was bitching too. And you just, enough.
I'm done.
I'm doing it.
Yep.
I will be the one that, I'm the only one.
August 5th. We're 1 week into camp. It's 700 degrees, even in Green Bay. And those things, they would legit do 15-play drives against us no matter how much we stopped them. And so it's like chasing Lamar around there. I'm like, come on, man. Like, you got a red jersey on.
I love it. That's good leadership out of you.
There's still some animosity.
That's great. There's a lot of people on that defense that were thanking you immediately upon it happening. Now, I'm assuming there's some offensive linemen maybe that came in and was there a little bit of
people thought we were like, whoa, what's going on with you? I think he threw the ball at me. It was great. It was awesome. People thought we really were having issues. People thought we really got into something.
This team's. Do we worry about that with the Chiefs? Huh?
Ooh.
Listen, we've only talked about a few things, and there's a lot more we have to talk about. Schefter is going to be joining us in about 14 minutes. Hopefully, he'll have all the heads up on everything. But how about the Patriots get a massive win?
How about it?
How about Chad Ryland bouncing back after having a rough year, rough game, and then he hits from 56 just to win it? Now, I will say, him sitting back, opening that gate a little bit, I've seen him kick good. I've seen him kick bad. I think he has the opportunity to be great. Now, that's because his leg is strong, but also his form right there. When he's real smooth, and he's just kind of, that's a very smooth swing right there. Mm-hmm. When he's doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Love that.
He's a guy in the biggest moment on the eve of Jesus Christ's birthday.
That's right.
Holiday classic.
He knocks that thing through with Rich Eisen and Kurt Warner in that red jacket on the call.
So nice.
That's a big night for the Patriots. Congrats to you guys getting a big win going in Christmas.
Thank you.
Christmas miracle right there.
That's a big win.
Christmas miracle.
Yeah, it was awesome. Definitely didn't want to win, but after the win, you think about it a little more. I saw a lot of people saying, Chad Ryland's still kicking for the Patriots shows you more than anything that Bill Belichick doesn't give a damn about this team. It's like, hey, if you have a rookie kicker and you have missed on kickers in the past, and you have this year where, hey, none of your kicks actually matter, like, why not just let the kid try and figure it out, and then maybe next year he kind of builds on it, and a kick like that, 56-yarder to win in the Holiday Classic. He mentioned how important it was, too, for, on the eve of Jesus' birthday to be able to do that, which I can appreciate for sure, but more so than anything.
Jesus Christ!
Jesus Christ! That guy also had a great video, great hat. But in the end, Bill Belichick winning, so massive for the team as a whole. I said it to you earlier this morning, like, Patriots are in a great spot. Sure, we go from the 2 pick to the 4 pick, but now, hey, we can let the draft come to us. We don't have to, make that tough decision if you want this quarterback, that quarterback. Like the Colts did, like the Dolphins did, like the Chargers did. It was one of those things, but I don't know if you heard Bill Belichick yelling on the sideline, the fire has never been burning this bright, and we're 4-11, which you love to see.
Here's heading to commercial break. I'm sorry, D, but real quick. Here's heading to commercial break on the Holiday Classic NFL Network when Bill Belichick was not thrilled with a ref at all.
Give us time. We just spotted the ball. You gotta give us a
You gotta give us a chance to sub, I think is what he was saying. And then whenever they came back, they showcased it a little bit. The internet caught that, as we all did, as we were enjoying our family and friends. But it's like, yeah, Bill's still very much invested.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. That was a primetime game, back-to-back primetime games now. We get wins.
Huge.
But they were reporting this weekend that him and Kraft have not sat down and talked about the future. He has expressed, allegedly, to his coaches that maybe a little bit of doubt on whether or not he's back there. What does that mean? What did you take away from the game, and what do you think about the future, D-Buck?
I mean, he's definitely, obviously, fully invested, and the reason they suck definitely not been the defense. And I think the star of that game was Christian Barmore.
Oh, yeah.
And he's been a stud all year, but he completely wrecked that game. But I was asking comments, so for sure we want Bill back now.
I've always wanted Bill back. I don't know.
As far as the rest of the assholes go.
I assume it's pretty split. And of course he has doubt. He's someone who, hey, you got to earn it every year, and this is the worst year he's ever had. So I think doubt makes sense. I assume there are parts of New England that don't want him back, but I think the overarching bottom line is no one has a problem with Bill as a coach. There needs to be someone GM help-wise, no matter what, whether he's back or not.
Hey, Bill, relax a little bit, Draft season, just
relax. I mean,
just kind of relax during the draft. Combine, you don't even want to go. You go to these pro days anyways instead of the combine. You go to Middle Tennessee State's pro day or work a guy out instead of going to the combine. Just coach ball. Let us buy your groceries.
Yeah, or just pick the obvious guy. Like sometimes, you don't want to take the guy that everyone loves, and so you draft someone else. You can take the obvious guy, and you can look back at a few of these drafts where the obvious guy goes couple picks after the guy we take who has not panned out, and I'm not going to specifically name people.
No. Big win. Why would you do that?
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. But Tyquan Thornton before George Pickens, N'Keal Harry before Dickie Metcalf, Terry McLaurin.
Actually, good transition there. How about George Pickens, huh? Mm-hmm. George Pickens, keep talking. I ain't listening. I heard you. I don't want to hear it. You're talking. I ain't listening. We don't know what it was.
Yep.
But there was some message of, yep, and why? Maybe he's telling you shut up.
Yeah.
Maybe he's telling you to be a mute.
Mute. Yeah.
Maybe he's muting you. He should have done maybe the remote.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Should have done maybe the remote. He had a hell of a game.
Yeah.
Hell of a game. Mason Rudolph and he obviously connected early and often, especially in a week where there was a lot to draw from if you're Mike Tomlin. And I think a lot of us potentially thought that this locker room doesn't matter. Like, it won't respond. So although we believe that Tomlin is a good coach and Tomlin's had a lot of success, his message isn't landing. So even if there's a bunch of shit to pull from all week, like the Steeler culture's dead, these guys don't have it.
What?
Move on from Tomlin.
What?
Wholesale changes.
Right.
They heard it all. Now, they said they weren't listening. I think they were trapping it in their head to remember it forever, potentially, was his messaging. How do you feel about how the Steelers played? How do you feel about George Pickens answering after a week long of just getting absolutely crucified for saying something very dumb, by the way, but for getting absolutely killed about it all, and then makes one of the greatest catches of the season?
Yeah, it was good to see that, George took everyone's word and listened to exactly what people were saying and what we were actually saying, was about the blocking, and not that he's super talented and go do this every single game.
So you're taking a victory lap.
Huh?
So the Steelers fans, the Yinzers are like, yeah, we motivated them. And this is what we've been talking about.
All I'm saying
We've been bummed out because you haven't been doing
him doing that on the sideline. We weren't talking about, we know what you can do. Always just, Just don't say that you don't want to block every once in a while, too. That'd be
in Pittsburgh.
And then, like, Jaylen Warren coming out and throwing that block that he threw on the touchdown after he did say that, I would have blocked for Pickens was awesome. But all the boys came out. They all showed up. I don't know if they were invigorated because they watched Mason in practice and know that he's, maybe better than Maserati Mitch, and now it's Maserati Mason's turn, and we'll see how that goes leaning forward.
Same car, both of them.
Yeah.
Mazda
Well, why
Mason.
would it be Mitsubishi Mitch?
Ooh.
And Maserati Mason.
Yeah, that's what it is. Now it's Mazda Mitch or whatever's less than a Mazda.
Mazda's a pretty good vehicle.
What about
pretty reliable?
Mudbone Mitch?
But the boys showed up. Like, they played with heart. They played with passion. They absolutely dominated from the start
Did you
to
expect
finish.
that, Tone? Did you expect that kind of performance, especially from Mason and the rest of the squad?
I thought that it might be a little better with Mason in there, but no, when you show up flat like the last few weeks, I didn't know what was going to change that. But no, they came out and they played awesome, and it was great to see.
How about Tomlin making the decision to go to Mason? Mason was almost run out of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
He was not well received.
It was Doc's team.
Multiple times. I feel like multiple times he's been gone.
Every time we've heard of him, he was getting
Credit
run
to
out
him,
of town.
by the way.
The bonk heard
He
around
actually
the world.
was. He was a free agent, and nobody signed him, so he came back.
Okay, in which Steelers fans brought up. And when they signed him, they were not happy. So he had not played in a while. Tomlin decides to let him go out there. He has this massive performance. They're still in the playoff conversation. They're chanting his name. I mean, this is like this is not how this was at all with Pittsburgh. He's been calling for Rudolph to go in. That is not how he talked about Rudolph. Remember, can't have a beer with the guy.
Oh, my God.
Can't have a beer
Well, I
with
don't
the
know if
guy.
that's changed.
How do you feel about Tomlin making the move to Rudolph and Tomlin's future now with this entire team? Because it was getting loud from everybody, literally everybody.
Yeah, I
about Mike Tomlin.
think they finished the season strong. Tomlin's still there going forward. But Mason, I mean, what else could he do at this point? Yeah, obviously Kenny was still banged up. Maserati Mitch was stinking. He's been seeing Mason practice, so put him in there. What's that? Miata Mitch.
Good call.
But George Pickens, responding like he did, and the blocking thing is one thing, and it is a big deal. He said something stupid, used the outside voice. But to quote the greatest coach and GM of all time, said this in front of the team meeting room plenty of times.
Bill Belichick, you're saying?
Bill Belichick.
Good, just clarify.
As a wide receiver, you got two jobs: get open, catch the ball. So when you are a receiver and you are depending on that quarterback and that offense, it can be frustrating when you run around getting cardio for 14, 16 weeks of the season, and then you finally get some shots down the field to show what you can do. So I want to obviously see this Pickens, and I think Pickens will block. It was one little bad play getting blocked.
No, he has. We've seen him on tape. We've seen him on tape throwing
blown
people
out.
around.
I think it was blown out of proportion. But to your point, coaches love that. They love that outside noise shit when they can use that to, hey, Pickens, they're saying this about you. Mason, they're saying this about his defense. They're saying this about you guys. And that's Cincinnati Bengals defense, too. We've known them to be, really good over the past few years. They're a bottom
At least
of the
adjusting.
league. Yeah. Bottom of the league in a lot of categories right now. And then Jake Browning. He's kind of, it's kind of like a shelf life we're seeing with these backup quarterbacks. It's kind of been a year to backup quarterback.
Why is that?
They get about good 3 to 5 weeks.
Tapes
and then tapes out. Guys get after them, you rattle them, get them off the spot, make them do, whatever B or C or D is on their list instead of that A game, and then they get rough. But
what's interesting about that is like tapes out on Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's different.
Everybody knows Joe.
Not on new Joe. This is new Joe.
Yeah, that's footstep.
This is best Joe.
This is
Joe's away from the game, watching the game, calling people, trying to get back in the game, and maybe got a whole different perspective about the game, like how he just lets it rip out, doesn't he?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
He's just playing. Joe Flacco's just playing the ball out there. He's killing it.
Well, that's what it's kind of been like a little bit of a joke, but how many teams is Flacco playing himself into a $25 million deal from a team
2 years,
next year?
$50 million.
Bingo.
That's like the Baker deal.
How many teams would do that right now?
How about the Baker deal down in Tampa that's inevitably coming?
Yeah.
Worked out.
That's like a 2 year, $50 million, 2 year, $40 million.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Isn't that? Don't you
That's
think?
what Gino got, right?
Right? Yeah, if he continues the last couple games, yeah.
That's like the deal that comes to guy who's proven, had to go a little bit, comes back, leads a team. You're definitely our best option, and you've already made your money, seemingly. So here's the deal. It's like he's got one of those. Joe Flacco's got one of those coming right down the pipe.
Legs stink now, huh?
I don't know what happened to them. Trevor's
getting killed.
It's been a bad month.
He's also giving the ball to the other team.
Oh,
a lot,
yeah.
But I think it's because he is getting killed. And then Mike Evans is just going to do Mike Evans stuff. All right, let's get out of here for this hour. Verizon is the place to get all your tech gifts this holiday season with exclusive savings you can't get anywhere else.
Love that.
Verizon's network team never takes a holiday.
Is that right?
Really?
so you can save on the best tech now and enjoy a reliable connection all year long. You know, this year's ending soon.
Yeah.
Very soon.
Shout out to Verizon. We appreciate it.
Love you, Verizon.
Verizon is the best. I've been a Verizon customer for 14 years.
Oh, yeah. Since the beginning.
Long time.
Same here.
Yeah, shout out to Verizon. They're only getting better, by the way. Only growing their coverage.
How about that?
That's right.
Only getting stronger. They're growing stronger. That's Verizon. Scan that to shop now. Scan that. Scan that. Scan that. Right, yep. To shop now.
Yep.
Shout out to Verizon. We appreciate you, Verizon.
Thank you, Verizon.
All right, Adam Schefter will be on the other side. He's got all the information.
Yeah. Always.
Maybe about what we're talking about there.
Yeah.
Hey, Baker deal. Flacco deal.
What?
How about Tomlin? How about Belichick? How about all of it?
Yeah.
5 minutes from now. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change your life. Take 5.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to New York City.
When people say New York is different, it is. There's more bumps, there's more trash, it's harder to get around everywhere. I personally love that.
Ladies and gentlemen, the man now with hours.
It is an absolute honor to be in New York City, live in Mike Greenberg Get Up Studio.
The Final Four, and they won a game there. Second of all,
you should have complained about Michigan.
You just made this about. You just made this about.
I'm done with this. I'm so sick of it. Why are we doing it? What the hell? How is this what we're doing? Come on. Here we go.
I'm glad you're sitting down. I'm glad you're sitting down.
Nope, standing up now. This is what Dak's doing right now. Stephen A. Dak and Cat doing this right here, all in your face.
Dak is a top 2 MVP candidate.
Whoa! Stephen A. You're right.
Very back.
Tomorrow on the Pat McAfee Show, we will be live in New York City on Pier 17 here in the Seaport area, and I will be sitting in this chair right here. And in that chair,
Wow.
will be 4-time NFL MVP and ayahuasca user, Aaron Rodgers. Did that guy actually tear his Achilles?
Oh.
Did he?
Man, shit. I like one of them damn snorkels. You don't even see my head. I look like that dude with the head get cut off and shit and Men in Black. And then he did that stings and shit. Yeah.
I think the Dolphins' defense has looked much better over like the last 3 weeks.
Maybe like number 1 since week 8. Maybe.
But is that a stat?
Yeah, maybe.
So, in this particular studio, a lot of sports journalism takes place. Real stories are told, hard-hitting questions are asked. The go of the sports goes as this particular studio goes. And joining me now for an exclusive sit-down interview is a 4-time NFL MVP, current quarterback of the New York Jets, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
I have to ask, there is a growing narrative across society even that you did not tear your Achilles.
That's how you wanted to start this whole thing out, huh?
Journalism. Why do you think people think you didn't tear your Achilles, Mr. Rodgers?
Well, I'm just trying to do something no one's ever done before. So when that happens, it can't possibly be the reality. So, but I'm proud of people. You know, there was a time a few years ago where anybody who had any ideas outside of the mainstream narrative and the normal thought process were called the C word. Now, if we know the history of the word conspiracy,
That's the C word.
conspiracy.
I did not know.
I respect everybody's opinion about it. However, misguided and wrong.
Knew you were going to love this.
Hello, Seaport. This is Dan in Bristol. You got me? Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Dan in Bristol, we got you. Check 2 3. Check 2 3. Dan in Bristol. How about Greeny? You got anything to say, Greeny?
I love Greeny. Got to see Greeny back there.
You're a good man. Greeny's going to love that you just said that. That's where he sits every morning.
Mm-hmm.
So tomorrow he's going to be doing a full.
He's
going
to sniff the seat when he walks in.
Wafting.
You can still smell.
Next year we're going to win.
Wow.
That guy's a quarterback. Dan. Just filming a commercial, thespian. I've had to say the same lines like 14 times. I'm like an actual actor. Okay. Me and Stephen A. from Maids of the Mist soap opera. What's the soap opera Stephen A's in? General Hospital there. You're not Maids of the Mist, obviously. That's not one. We got a chance to act together. Greenie, New York Times bestseller, got a chance to act with him a little bit. And now I'm doing acting alone. And this is where you got to really showcase your thespianness. And boy, I've been delivered. What? Whoa. A lot of that.
Just gonna get
It's a
last
commercial on
thing.
TV. You know, that's the funny thing about life. Sometimes the things that you have no idea are about to happen turn into be great things. The best thing. So just live in the moment. Don't try to forecast what the future will be too much, because then you're going to find yourself worrying about what it might not be. We have no idea what that is. In the past, move past it. Learn from it, keep it moving, and enjoy the hell out of right now. Because that's what it's all about.
Amen.
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change your life.
Everybody's got Bryce Young, Will Levis, and Will Anderson above C.J. Stroud, allegedly. We will 1,000,000% continue to drive that narrative.
That is right.
Because with what my eyes seen, AJ, and what you have seen, if C.J. Stroud ends up at the Colts at number 4, I'm happy about the future of the Colts all of a sudden.
Yep.
So this will be the last time we say this. C.J. Stroud is the best quarterback in this draft class.
That's right.
For sure. We are massive fans of them. And whenever we say, whatever we say over the next few months before the draft, we would like it to not be held against us, because we know we are a part of the entire system here. And we need C.J. Stroud in Indy.
Have to have him.
Plus, it's really fun to say Stroud.
Yeah. Yeah, we need him to go Dahn to the 4th pick.
Yeah, you think they have to trade up? Because Texans are right there at 2, and, those are the 2 quarterbacks of the future.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's an opportunity and a chance for us to move, too. We got a lot of pieces to the puzzle that aren't necessarily going to be there in the future, probably. You bundle that with the 4 overall pick, I think you could maybe move up to 1, and then you get C.J. Stroud.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go. This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Sport! Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. On this overreaction, Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, December 26, 2023, hour 3 of the program starts now. Football! Happened in a huge way over the Christmas weekend. We hope you had a fantastic one. That's AJ Hawk right there.
Boy, Hawker.
This guy acts, not accidentally. This guy one time went helmet to helmet with Aaron Rodgers in a scrimmage in front of their fans during training camp. That's the type of thing he does, and the way he attacks life every single day. That's why he's a college football national champion, a Super Bowl champion, a Ryder Cup winner, and a father of
4.
Wow.
Okay.
It's less than 10.
Not 10.
Less than 10. Thought you were trying to build a little army or being one of those weirdos who just has like 20 kids.
Yeah, Koresh.
Those people are weird. I don't know if Koresh has that many. That's a different
adopted.
Different religion.
I think in the end,
maybe.
In the end, he did.
Yeah, we're talking about this is a different.
By blood, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you need to get your Colts straight.
In order?
Yeah.
Nah.
2 different Colts here.
I'll just
The Davidians one, the Duggars another.
Yeah, that's right.
The Duggars are amongst a bunch, though, that are trying to birth their way into taking over the world.
Yes.
Allegedly, is what a documentary told me.
Sure.
The Davidians, same thing, but they were just recruiting those who were lost and they would follow.
Now,
Exactly.
And marriages and old and children rearranged.
And then he wrote that manifest and he burned it down.
Exactly.
Well, and then he did shred in the White House before on the guitar.
I forgot about that. That's the Talks Table at Boss Carter and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys, Tone Diggs, big time update.
Big time update, just like we fucking said we would. Fireworks in the Quick Lane Bowl. 43-yard touchdown from Connor Bazelak to start the game. We got about a minute in. Boy, oh boy,
Minnesota's driving.
Wow, what? Just like we fucking said it would. Fireworks in the Quick Lane Bowl. Detroit City, baby.
I believe I heard a coach there. Coach JB, I believe, popped off there. He's having a good time on the internet.
Oh, yeah, he crushed it.
He's taking victory lap right now. But you're right. We didn't expect this Quick Lane Bowl to be as electrifying when you learn that one of them is the 102nd offense in the country, Bowling Green, who had a big-time touchdown as soon as they got the ball in this game. And then Minnesota's 122nd in the country in offense. Here we are, first quarter, potentially 14 points. We like that Quick Lane Bowl. That's up there in Ford Field. Detroit's always awesome. 9-year NFL vet. Darius J. Butler's here. Hey, you just learned the Quick Lane Bowl. How about it, D-Ball?
Yeah, I actually played my first. Well, I didn't play. I was redshirting, but first bowl. UConn's first bowl game ever was in that stadium.
Really?
City Bowl.
How'd you guys do?
Dan Orlowski's last college game. We won. We beat Toledo.
Way to go, Dan.
Okay. Lance Moore, I think, was their receiver.
Joining us now is a man we've made wait here for a few moments, and we do apologize because I think he was traveling earlier in the day. So we're just wasting away his entire afternoon. We apologize for that. Senior NFL insider for ESPN, friend of the program, ladies and gentlemen, Adam Schefter. Schefter.
Happy holidays, Pat. First of all, what's with the sleeves? And it's great to be with AJ here. I don't know that I've been on with AJ this season. Have we been on together, AJ?
I don't believe so. You're usually on the first hour. I don't come on until the second hour.
AJ, that's Adam Schefter. Adam Schefter texted your best friend, Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron told him, lose my number, bro. That's where you remember the name from. Right, AJ? You remember
Yeah,
it?
hold on to the number, though, Chef. You don't need to delete it. You can hold on to it.
Yeah, save that thing. Have you held on to it? That's a good question. You have it still saved?
No comment. I listen, I know he doesn't want me to call him. Reach out to him. I'm not doing that.
Maybe send him one.
Yeah.
Maybe
Like a Merry Christmas.
Send him a handwritten note in the mail.
I sent him a shirt. I sent him something. Yeah, I sent him a shirt.
Got some buzzwords for him, too, he could use.
Oh, yeah. You should introduce yourself in a certain fashion.
Mm-hmm.
We learned today. Whenever you...
That's right.
All right, Shefty. Michigan, big game, huh?
Yeah.
Big game. You nervous about it, or you got too much NFL stuff going on right now?
No, I'm fired up about it. I wish I could go to it, but wait, I'd have to go out New Year's Eve, and there's game Sunday, and then coming back Monday. It just... I don't know. I guess I'm looking for an excuse to stay home and watch it in my house. That's what I'm going to do.
Shefty, I'll tell you what, pal. As somebody, we have college game day on Saturday.
Yeah.
There's a college game day on Saturday.
And then
in Pasadena?
Mm-hmm. And then there's a college game day on Monday as well for the Rose Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
And there's the Rose Bowl and there's the Sugar Bowl. That's a huge day. That Monday, huge day. Yeah. Saturday, college game day. From Pasadena, California.
They're playing another game in Pasadena before
Nope. The Orange Bowl, those on Saturday, so obviously.
Not in Pasadena?
Orange Bowl, that's Miami, right?
I don't know if I'm getting
there's not
punked
a
or not.
game-
I think we got a game day this weekend.
So there's not a game day on Monday, too?
There is a college game day on Monday for
And
college
Saturday?
football. Saturday, there's a college. I just learned of this 2 days ago.
That doesn't-
This needs to.
That doesn't
I
compute.
had no idea this was happening. We're trying to figure out, to your point. All right, Sunday.
Well, let me explain something to you, Pat. As we get deeper into the playoffs, all of a sudden, like when the playoffs start, we have pregame shows, Sunday countdown, on Saturday countdown, Sunday countdown, Monday countdown. Like it never stops. You just keep counting down to all the games being played when it gets to the postseason. That's how it works around ESPN.
We're 6 days to the Rose Bowl, 4 days to a college game day on Saturday from the Rose Bowl. Okay, we need to remember that.
Right. Weird.
College game day's back on Saturday, I think. Unless I'm being punked, which could be the case. I think we have one on Saturday.
Well, because what he's saying makes sense because that's the postseason, but this is the Orange Bowl is not one of the.
No, it is. It's a national championship.
Oh yeah, you're right. So maybe that's why.
But no
because
one's
it is
playing for Florida State.
Well, hey, listen, that's not on us.
It's a de facto national championship.
I'm judging the results on the field.
Fugays, UCF national championship.
I have a parade.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Just as fake.
Let's talk about the NFL. Good luck to your Michigan team against Alabama. We will be calling it on the field once again.
Tough one.
Yeah, Bama's hot right now, but Michigan too.
Yeah.
Michigan's been through it all. Adversity, the mental toughness on that team. Excited to be at the Rose Bowl. Then Texas, Washington.
Come on.
Come on, College Bowl.
Cool.
Let's go. That'll be an awesome Monday. Saturday, awesome too. Let's remember that.
Of course.
Let's talk NFL ball here, shall we? One of the topics of conversation today has been Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco, it is alleged, has come out and called the Jets. Hey, we'll call you. Hey, if you need anybody, I've been in the building, people know me, I still want to play. And they potentially said no. I assume he did that to other teams as well as these quarterback injuries took place over the first, 11 weeks in which he did not have a home. Now he's balling for the Browns. Amari Cooper's breaking Browns records. They're winning. They're in the conversation to potentially go on a run here with Joe Flacco. He said, I want to be a Brown. He said, I feel like a 10-year-old. His contract's up at the end of the year. Deshaun Watson's getting paid $230 million guaranteed or whatever. So how does that, let's say Joe Flacco goes to divisional round.
Sure.
Good game.
Keeps tight.
Yep. Good game. Ends up losing, but we're all like, hey,
Joe played
a
well.
lot of injuries to the Browns. Browns fans probably the same thing. What do you think happens over there in Cleveland? How do you think this gets handled, and what's the future look like for Joe Flacco now?
I still think that Deshaun Watson is their quarterback and their quarterback of the future. It would take something that would be so incredible that Cleveland would love to have to make a decision like that. But to me, they're going forward with Deshaun Watson. It doesn't detract from everything that Joe Flacco has done this season. And if we start to move ahead and begin to think of the Browns in the playoffs, first of all, I guess they could have a home playoff game, although Baltimore looks like it's going to be the number 1 seed right now. But do you know who has the most road playoff wins right now in NFL history? Road playoff wins.
Joey Flack.
He is tied with Tom Brady, 7. They each have 7. So Joe Flacco this postseason could potentially become the all-time NFL postseason road warrior. Officially, he could do that. Now, again, if he gets the Browns to the Super Bowl and they win it, that question is going to come up a lot. But short of that, they've invested so much money and so many picks in Deshaun Watson that I can't see them not sticking with Deshaun, even though Joe Flacco seems to like elevate that whole offense. And even when I was watching the Browns this weekend, I'm thinking it's incredible what they're doing. No Nick Chubb. Imagine that. No Jack Conklin.
What?
They're missing all kinds of players that just keep going out, and they keep finding ways to roll on. What Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry have done has been pretty impressive.
Yeah, nobody's talking about Stefanski potentially Coach of the Year. You know what I mean? Shane Steichen Coach of the Year. D'Amico Ryans Coach of the Year.
What?
How about Harbaugh Coach of the Year?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of guys that could potentially win it. Andrew Berry, I hope he wins it as well. Is there breaking news coming through on the text message right now?
Yeah, my daughter's badgering me right now about what she wants me to do for her for lunch, but all good.
What are we going with? What are we thinking? Sandwich?
You know. Here's the deal. I was with her yesterday. I was her spotter in Kansas City. I flew to Kansas City. I was her spotter for the Nickelodeon Nickmas game. She was the sideline reporter. And just because I'm her spotter one day doesn't mean that all of a sudden, I continue to be her servant the next day. Like those spotting duties, they expire after Christmas.
I have a daughter. She's only 7.5 months old. I don't think that ever. I think you are the assistant from what I've been told. Let's talk about that game. I don't know if that's what AJ was going to ask. I know he has a question. So do the boys. But let's talk. Hey, Chiefs look different. This looks very different. Now, obviously, congrats to the Raiders.
Yeah,
hey, congrats to the Raiders. That's a huge win. We are big fans of the boys over there, and good for Raiders fans that they're still in this thing, and they got the chance to ruin the Kansas City Chiefs on Christmas in front of everybody.
Yeah.
In front of that's a big-time Raiders win. They're smoking cigars in the Chiefs' visiting locker room, which isn't that big. That's a big-time move. First time beating the Chiefs in a long time. The Chiefs, though, from these types of plays not being executed properly like they have in the past, to the sideline stuff with Travis and Patrick, to obviously Taylor and Brittany, bummed out. Bummed out at the end. Well, it feels different. Did you see anything on the sideline? Do the fans feel that way since you were there? Like, what is the vibe over there?
I'll tell you what, we happened to be standing literally right next to the sideline on the Raiders sideline, right where the pick six happened, right when the fumble was returned. There was an amazing energy and electricity on the Raiders sideline for starters. There was a determination, a belief. And I will say this, like watching them and standing around talking with some of the Raiders people, the Chiefs seemed like a tired football team. They seemed like a worn down football team. And I think the Raiders saw that on film when they watched them. They felt like that team is not functioning, just like the Eagles when they had that stretch there. And I know they won yesterday, but they had that stretch there where they had to play the Niners when the Niners had 10 days rest and the Cowboys when they had 10 days rest. And then the Eagles had to go out west to play in Seattle. The margin of difference between these two teams is not all that great. That something like that could contribute. And the Chiefs have just looked off all year long. And it almost feels like there's a Super Bowl hangover. It's still there. The length of last season carried into this season. And they're just not functioning at the same level.
Yeah, it's a bummer. I'm bummed out about it.
Yeah,
I like watching that team. And I like that the Swifties still got everything in front of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Still got everything in front of them. Obviously, it doesn't appear as if they're going to be able to go as far as we all assume the modern Kansas City Chiefs will be able to go. Go ahead, AJ.
Shefty, what about Baker down in Tampa? He's putting together a nice year. What kind of deal could he possibly get? And I would imagine it would be with the Tampa Bay Bucks.
You know, it's funny because talking to that team about him, and they're like, they love this guy the way they love Brady. Like, and you don't think of him like that, but he really relates to that team. They relate to him, and I think that there's this mutual respect there. And to me, he's doing for Tampa this year a little bit what Geno did in Seattle last year. And Geno parlayed that into a nice little extension. It was not a top of the market deal. And I think, to me, that becomes something of a model that Baker and the Bucs can base their contract talks off of. But think about this, right? Like, if Baker has hit the free agent market, does he have more value to Tampa or anywhere else? It's worked there. He likes it. They like him. Why not continue that right now? Especially when they're not going to be in position to go draft a quarterback. Like, that seems like it's a natural match. And so if you take the framework of the Geno Smith deal, to me that becomes the framework for a deal like this. Baker Mayfield, I love the guy. I don't think he's getting $50 million a year. I hope he does, but I don't think he's going to. So you take the Geno deal and you look at that, but they're going to want him back. He's going to want to be there, and he should be there. It's worked out very well.
The Geno deal was also the Tom Brady deal, which was also the Drew Brees deal, which was also the Phil Rivers deal, which is like kind of probably the Joe Flacco deal somewhere. That's just kind of the guys that have already made money, okay? Now you're in this second life. And speaking of second life, with how the Bucs played at the beginning of the season, then Dahn, and then now where they're at right now, it's like, I would assume both sides would like to keep this thing together because they've been playing phenomenal football. Now, speaking of phenomenal football, a phenomenal football conversation comes up every offseason. Go ahead, D-Bud.
Yeah, absolutely. Jim Harbaugh, obviously Michigan man, still in Michigan. Big game coming up. Saw some reports come out with a potential long-term deal there in Michigan. I know you mentioned 7 to 10 NFL jobs potentially being open this offseason. Any chance he still makes that leap?
Yeah, there's a chance. I think that he's in a situation where he has considered the NFL all along. I think that he has gone to Michigan to do a certain job. And especially if he completes that job and leads Michigan to a national championship, he then can say, I've done everything that I wanted to do at my alma mater. I've helped restore that school's success and winning ways. And it's time for him to then go pursue what he's wanted to do, which is win a Super Bowl. To me, that's a logical conclusion. Now, we'll see how the playoffs play out, how that plays into it. But Jim, in recent years, always has been open-minded to anything and has explored everything that's come his way. And to me, it'll be the same thing this year, where he's going to continue to explore what's out there for him, whether that's the NFL or not.
The clause is awesome that got announced. The no NFL clause. It's like, you just signed a contract. Like, you sign a contract, $124 million. Yeah, you're not allowed to go take another job. Like, that being added as a public thing, like, there's a big clause. Yeah, no shit. Yeah, that's not how. Yeah, they just said, no, you're not allowed to go to the NFL. It's like, yeah, no shit. That's what he signed the contract for. Sometimes those types of things obviously take precedent. How much money? Okay, so $124 million, I think, is what was being reported. Yep. Over 10 years, $12.5 million roughly or so in college. What are these NFL guys going to get at this 7 to 10 job openings? Where it is? What are NFL head coaches average?
Well, it depends on who you're talking about, right? If you're Jim Harbaugh and you're going to the NFL, to me, in my mind, that number is going to be $14-15 million a year, roughly. And if you're a guy like Ben Johnson in Detroit and the Panthers are desperate for you, and you've already said no once, and they want to bring you in to work with Bryce Young. Last year, D'Amico Ryans got, I think, $8 million a year over 6 years, and he parlayed the fact that Houston had been through so many coaches into a longer-term deal, and the coaches' contracts are all guaranteed. So D'Amico got 6 years out of Houston, guaranteed at a higher rate. And to me, Ben Johnson, if he wants the Carolina job, would be in a position to do something similar. And the D'Amico deal becomes the starting point, but his deal comes in even higher this year. So it just depends on who you are, what your experience is, how desperate the team is, what the situation. There's a lot of variables that go into any negotiation. So everyone's going to be different. But to me, Harbaugh's in the mid-teens, and Ben Johnson is a guy that I think will easily best what D'Amico Ryan's got as a first-year head coach from Houston.
Yeah, Carolina obviously known for moving on from coaches as well. If I'm Ben Johnson,
exactly.
I got a lot of suitors. I've already said no one time to Carolina. The more you say no, the higher the number gets.
That's correct. You know, success in life is the ability to say no. He said no. He could say no again. So that's where David Tepper comes in and says, okay, are you ready to say no to 6 years and $10 million a year? I'm making this up off the top of my head. 6 years, $60 million.
Like he did to Matt Rule.
Yeah.
You know, that is
Basically,
that is the Tepper play there. You know, good luck to all these coaches.
Good luck.
Yeah. Speaking of coaches, Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, Schefty, speaking of the 7 to 10 potential openings next year, is that still in your mind where the number stands? It seems like some of these guys who have kind of been on the hot seat have won a couple games here in a row, and we're not really hearing as much about them moving on. But if you had to just guess right now, are we still at 7 to 10, and who do you think is kind of at the top of that list of having the hottest seat right now?
Yeah, I'm guessing at the lower end of that now. And these things shift all the time because the Bears have been winning. We've seen them come on. The Falcons are coming off a victory over the weekend. So, I mean, there are certain things that in the end, we'll see how the last 2 weeks play out, but I still think the number comes in 7 or 8. That'd be my guess today. We'll see where it happens at the end of the year. What was the question? I lost my train.
It was who's hottest, but as you're talking about this, saying
here's the deal. We got Carolina, we got Vegas, we got the Chargers. You know, Washington's no secret; they're going to be making big changes there at the end of the season. That'll be 4, right? So then the question is, okay, who else joins the list? Everybody's waiting to see what happens in New England. Everybody's waiting to see if some of the NFC South teams that don't win that division have any fallout, whether that's Atlanta or New Orleans, or even if Tampa struggles down the stretch, which nobody's expecting, right? So I think today, New Orleans and Atlanta are safe. What happens if they go 0-2 down the stretch? Things change. I think today, Chicago, Matt Eberflus, has played himself into a situation where he could be retained. What if they go 0-2 down the stretch, right? So what was the expression? I wrote it down. Somebody said to me,
yes,
jobs are won and lost in December. And that is true when it comes to head coaching jobs. Jobs are won and lost. Some guys have been winning them in the last few weeks. And in the last couple of weeks, some guys may lose them.
Okay, so let's go to the one that you talked about being the pivotal move that everybody's kind of watching. You know, because Bill Belichick now, 2 out of 3 past 3 weeks, won primetime games.
Damn right.
This is what Bill Belichick does. Chad Ryland strokes one home from 56 at Mile High. The Patriots have a lovely Christmas miracle win, and now they move to number 4 in the draft order. And there was a clip that was as they were going to commercial break where Bill Belichick was chewing out a ref, big time kick there from Chad, chewing out a ref about not being able to sub whenever the ball was being placed. So it's like that alongside winning, alongside knowing that he's going to be coaching at least for another couple years.
Oh, yeah.
It's like there was a report that came out, allegedly, now everything's garbage, especially whenever it comes out of New England, until proven otherwise, that Belichick is telling his coaches, I don't know about next year. You know, there's some doubt about next year. That's what reports are saying. He and Kraft have not talked to each other. Where do we stand on that front? And what do we think, as of this Tuesday, December 26, 2023, what do you think is happening up in New England, and what reports should we hear?
Well, it's a Robert Kraft decision. And I also think Bill has a decision to make. If he's not happy with the way that, let's just say, Robert Kraft hasn't silenced things this year. Everybody's been wondering all year long. It's become this story du jour. It could have been very easy at some point in time, right, for Robert Kraft to say, hey, I don't know where all this speculation's coming from. He's my coach and he's going to be my coach. That didn't happen. Now, how does Bill feel about that? I don't know. I'd love to know. So I think there are two men, Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick, who have to sit down and figure out, okay, is this something we want to salvage? Now, if Robert Kraft has already decided that it's his franchise, he's taking it back, he's moving on, it doesn't matter what Bill says, and there's not a lot to talk about. And maybe Robert Kraft is going to go that direction. We don't know. Or maybe Bill wants to go that direction. We don't know that. Or maybe they sit down and figure out, okay, we're going to mutually break up. There's a few different solutions to this. We all know that there is uncertainty surrounding whether or not he's back. Again, if you're New England, you say, well, who are we going to get as a head coach that is going to be better than Bill Belichick? Nobody. But, again, they've been together so long, it might just be that Robert Kraft wants to go to somebody else. We don't know what he's thinking right now.
Were you at that all-white party with Robert Kraft?
I think so, right?
Are you? We got to, with Rappaport, we knew everybody he was talking to.
Right. Yes.
So whenever he was giving his answers, it's like we know at least the angle in which it's coming. For you, we don't know all your, we don't know who all your, we just assume everybody you're plugged in there. But it's like you're just as open as we are. Like you're just like, yeah, we have no idea. It could be this, could be this, could be that. Is it being that tightly guarded, you think, or is Kraft?
Here's the deal. I don't think Bill knows right now what is going to happen, and Robert hasn't said anything. And I remember speaking to somebody on to one of these reports, one of the many reports that's come out throughout the course of the year about their future, asking somebody, and they're like, how can that be when Robert and Jonathan haven't said anything to anybody? Now, again, maybe Robert Kraft said to one of his friends, you know what, I'm sick of Bill. I'm moving on from him. I personally have a hard time believing that Robert Kraft has shared his feelings on Bill Belichick's future with somebody before he sits down and talks to Bill himself.
What?
That's my own opinion. I could be wrong about that. Okay.
Right. So
now,
none of us
some
know
people
anything.
may be reading.
say.
People may be reading his body language and signs. We saw that video that one time of there was a handshake where Bill and Robert were in a line, and there was it was like the Patriots Friday night dinner where they were putting some people in their Ring of Fame, and there was a lot of warmth between Robert and some of the other, and then Bill and Robert, not quite as much as the others. That's a real thing. Again, I think they have to sit down and have an honest, frank discussion about what each wants. But I don't believe that Robert Kraft is shared with people around the office or in the organization or others. You know what? I'm moving on from Bill, or I'm doing this with Bill. And we don't know what he's thinking. And it's part of the great drama and mystery to this whole situation, right? We're talking about the college football. A couple of my friends have said to me, hey, if Michigan were able to win this game, are you going to Houston on January 8th? I'm like, no. Once the regular season ends, we are all officially on Bill Belichick watch to see exactly what happens. I would not want to be in Houston when all of a sudden there's white smoke rising from the chimneys in Foxborough, Massachusetts, and Bill's back, or he's not back, or he's moving on, or whatever it is, right? And I'm sitting here in a national championship game. Would love to be there, but not going to happen.
Oh, yeah, that's Fired Monday, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about
Black
it.
Monday.
It is. It's, oh, no.
Yeah, bingo.
And that's national championship.
Right.
That should have been moved to Tuesday, it feels like.
Yeah, that was ill-timed. Ill-timed. We got to speak to the people. I don't know.
It's always that.
Who do we have to talk to? That's ill-timed, Pat.
Probably you. ESPN. You're the one that did it, probably.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Shefty.
Thanks, Shefty. Yeah, but that is a positive way to end the day.
Yeah.
Because all day you just hear about, let go, can't, see ya, boom, over, bang, bang, bang. And then all of a sudden, wait a minute.
But you know what? But here's the deal. We've already gotten 3. There's not a lot of mystery in the 4th. Okay, so now the question becomes, now that we're past the 4, what is going to get our attention that day? And by the way, the Patriots thing, it may be that Kraft and Belichick, they may not meet till Tuesday or Wednesday that week. We don't know.
Or maybe Monday to watch the national championship together.
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe they have you don't think that's...
They should let you know so you could go.
I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna put in a request that they not do it that time. There's a moratorium on any future discussions about Bill Belichick's future within the Patriots organization starting at 8:00 on January. Well, that's if Michigan wins. If they don't win, they can have those talks whenever they want. I don't really care.
How about Schefter? If Michigan doesn't win and they're not in the Natty, just being like, fuck this game. just sending off a random, I have heard.
Sources.
Breaking, boom, there it is. That's what having a good alum, that's what good alum is all about. There is some places where we're getting real worried, Schefter. Go ahead, Tone.
Yeah, Shefty, there's injuries from quarterbacks this weekend. Purdy got hurt. Trevor got hurt. C.J. Stroud got hurt a few weeks ago. He's in the concussion protocol still. Now, the Niners play the Commanders. The Jags play the Panthers. And Stroud has the Titans, I believe. For those first two, does them playing the Commanders and Panthers have anything to do with, are they going to play this weekend? What is the health status for these guys and moving forward with all those injuries?
Well, again, I'll go one by one. I think Stroud, again, we'll see how he progresses, but he was back in meetings later in the week last week, and I think that they felt good about his availability for this week. I think they play Tennessee. So, again, barring some sort of setback, I think he's tracking to be back out there. Brock Purdy, 2 stingers in 2 weeks. I don't think that they're resting him if they can avoid it. They're not thinking, okay, well, Washington's on the schedule. Sam Darnold's got this. If Brock Purdy can play, and my guess is he will be able to, barring a setback. Kyle Shanahan said after the game that he thought he would be okay, but you just don't know how players respond to stingers. So I don't know how Brock feels today, but again, based off what Kyle said last night, I would think that he would be the guy this week. Trevor Lawrence. Trevor's become like the new Ben Roethlisberger, right? Yep. He goes down every game and he bounces back up and he keeps fighting and he keeps getting back out there as the tough guy that he is, never missing a game. Dealing with the sprained shoulder. Doug Peterson said today they don't know if he's going to be able to play this week. Too early to tell. Usually his pattern and history have been that he bounces back and makes it back in time. And that would be my guess, but let's see how he feels later in the week.
How about Michael Pittman Jr.? That was a devastating blow.
Weird.
We need him at the Colts. So he got on the plane, and then all of a sudden he started getting headaches again? What happened in this entire thing? How did he get there?
He wasn't feeling right on Saturday, flew down there. Again, one day earlier, Shane Steichen said he had clear protocol. So the expectation was he was going to play.
Yeah.
Now, he was dealing with that collision. I think it was like whiplash. They also had him on the injury report with a shoulder injury. So it was the concussion, it was the shoulder, it was pretty quick, and there were some comments that he didn't remember the exact incident of the play from the week before. The whole thing was a little bit sticky and unsettling, but I think they did the right thing, and they entered him back into protocol. He goes back in. You give him another week. There's no need to rush that.
We shouldn't have told anybody he was playing, though, because I'll tell you what, vastly different team with Michael Pittman Jr. What I'm learning is Michael Pittman Jr., we are a much different team when he's on the field versus when he's not on the field, because we got our asses beat.
He's a difference maker when he's out there, a target monster. I mean, Gardner looks to him every time. Guy catches everything, tough. My guess is he'll make it back this week, but we'll see.
He had glasses on, too. I thought maybe that was potentially
part of the light.
Because the whole headache thing. AJ, go ahead, pal.
Schefter, I want to go back to Bill Belichick quickly. Is there a possibility that Robert Kraft has an issue not with Bill's play calling and coaching, but as a GM, and someone steps in and kind of takes more of a GM role away from Bill, but he's still the head coach of the Patriots?
We're taking half your office.
You know what? I think that I think those are all going to be part of the conversations that occur. And again, I'm not trying to avoid it. I just think all these options are on the table right now. And it may just be that Robert says to him, hey, we want you to bring in somebody here to help out, and that's important to us. And I mean, that could happen. I don't know. It's certainly one of the options, AJ. One of the options.
You were fucked up there.
Yeah.
What was that all about? Well, you were
No. Just one other thing that no.
Oh, wait a minute. I was wondering when AJ asked the question, I'm like, oh, Schefter could just toss this back into anything could happen bucket. But then at the end there, almost had a full malfunction. We all right? Everything all right? You almost said something.
We're good. Listen, Pat, we're a couple of early mornings here, a flight back from Kansas City. I got a little bit of a migraine going right now. We're okay right now.
Hey, thanks for battling through.
There you go,
Thanks for battling through. Last question here from Con Man.
Yeah, it's probably tough too talking about Bill just because no one fucking knows, like you said. But I love how we still can speculate on. It's my favorite thing that's been going on lately.
A lot of actual reports.
Yeah, a lot of that. A lot of actual. A lot of not sure. But how about this? I don't know yet. But who cares? Right now, Schefty, especially for teams like the Patriots, for fan bases, there's a lot of eyes toward the bottom of the league because that is the top of the draft order. Have you heard anything regarding, those top 5, 6 picks when it comes to trades? I think a lot of people are assuming, the Bears are either going to take Caleb or trade out, but, maybe they don't pass on a generational wide receiver like Marvin Harrison Jr. Have you heard anything about that? And do you expect a lot of those top 2, top 3 spots to be kind of flipping and flopping with other teams trading up to try and get a quarterback?
Well, that's always the story of the draft. It'll be the story of the draft this year. And I know that my good friend and colleague Field Yates feels very strongly about Jaden Daniels as well. And I think he's going to be right in the mix with those other guys. And so when you're talking about the quarterbacks, I think it's going to be more than just the 2 quarterbacks this year that people are targeting at the top of the draft. I think it's going to be 3 quarterbacks. I think Jaden Daniels, based off what Field thinks and says, is going to be brought into that mix by the time the draft rolls around. And so when you've got Caleb Williams and you've got Drake May and you've got Jaden Daniels and you've got that need, if you take a look at the way the draft is going to lay, there are a lot of teams that need quarterbacks in the top 10, and there aren't 10 quarterbacks to go around, which means typically, what was the year where we saw Trevor Lawrence? There it is. Okay, we got Carolina. Chicago had the number 1 pick, it looks like. Arizona, big quarterback question.
Washington
issue.
Is 3.
New England will be a quarterback. Washington's a quarterback. Tennessee, I think they like Levis. Chargers not a quarterback. Giants could be a quarterback, but not in that slot. Chicago's up high. Jets always could be a quarterback, although I'd like to see them upgrade the offensive line for Aaron. And Vegas could be a quarterback. Not to mention Atlanta's a quarterback. And New Orleans could be there are so many teams there that need quarterbacks, and there aren't enough of them. So inevitably, last year we saw Carolina come up from, 8-1, and Houston was in there. So these quarterbacks, the 3 quarterbacks, there's going to be a rush for them. However it shakes out, there's going to be a rush for them, and they will move up. I mean, we all knew that Caleb Williams and Drake May were going to be arguably the top 2 picks, if not the top 2 of the 3. But I think Jaden Daniels is going to be right there with them. One more quarterback right up there. And that obviously means that maybe Marvin Harrison goes 4, which would be a gift to somebody.
Yeah, it would be a gift to a lot of teams. We're hoping we get him here at the Colts, but then Gardner Minshew just started doing his thing.
Yeah.
But Jim Irsay might go dance. Sure. We have no idea. Hey, Schefty, incredible stuff here today. Legit.
Good boy, Schefty.
Nice to be with you all. Happy holidays to everybody. Good to see AJ. Good to see the sleeves. My wife's going to ask, is that permanent, or are we going back to the tank top? What's the deal?
No, I think it started last week.
Mm-hmm.
Last week I started wearing like T-shirts and longer sleeves. The mission was accomplished in the tank tops. Starting to get shitty out here.
Yeah, it is.
Like it was 52 on Christmas, but then there was just this fog that you couldn't see. And then that disappeared. It was a beautiful day, and then now it's back. It's like we're just in terrible weather time. Maybe bundle up a little bit, Schefter?
Okay, but the tank tops, it's not like, you got rid of them. Like, they're coming back, right?
No, yeah. A lot of Christmas gifts of tank tops from people.
Nice. Good.
I actually got another, 60 tank tops, so gonna have to be used. Gonna have to be used at some point. But yeah, every once in a while, I'll toss on a nice shirt. My wife bought me a bunch of these as well, which is very nice.
I like that shirt. It's a nice shirt.
I like your hoodie, Schefty. I really do.
Nice and cozy. I'll be wearing it for the national championship as I track the Patriot comings and goings while I try to pay attention to Michigan, right?
Who will be the next Pope? Well, we'll see.
I was going to say, they got to win.
By the way, how do we feel about it? Do we feel like Michigan's going to win on Monday against Alabama, or do we not feel like Michigan?
I have not. That's Connor. No.
Yeah, Bama's going to roll, Schefty. Sorry, you might as well just book that flight home. No need to leave, brother.
I think Harbaugh's a good coach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think Harbaugh is a very good coach. I think you start looking at positions, you start thinking to yourself, Alabama seems to have a lot of advantages in a lot of them, but then in what Michigan does, they are sound.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Michigan knows exactly who they are as well, I think, which is a whole, I don't know. I have no idea on this one. I'm very lucky. I'm doing a couple breakdowns on this game, and I've gotten a chance to watch some Michigan stuff. Yep. I watched them live against Iowa.
Yep.
And it was ugly. It was not, you know what I mean? It was not the most sound. It was Iowa football. But as you go back and watch the tape, it's like this Michigan team, with everything they were dealing with too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
With how committed everybody on the team was. That's a good team up there. And they run the shit out of the run.
It's a good team, and there are some really great young men. I've had the good fortune of meeting a bunch of them. And I'll also tell you this, that I remember talking to the football program at the beginning of the year, and they were telling me how, I think Alabama, was it last year or the year before, or Georgia, last year had 15 players drafted in the draft. And they said to me that they thought that there might be 18 players from Michigan drafted this year. Now, there's not a lot of top-heavy talent, but across the board, they are loaded with some really good players. And we'll be watching and pulling for them, and hopefully they can bring it home.
And a veteran group, it sounds like. A lot of OGs around there have been there, done that. Hopefully they're able to pull it off out there in the Rose Bowl. But that Alabama team,
Hey, they are one of the standards in college football. They are creme de la creme, and so it's going to be a monumental undertaking, but we'll stand behind our team and be pulling for them and root for them, and we send our best to the blue.
Hail to the victors, valiant hail.
Come on, get in there. I want to hear AJ.
Let's plug Mustangs.
I didn't know Schefter. So you like broke the team down after practice or something, or you talked to him in team meeting? How did that go?
Well, I went with O's this year. We went O's the Mentalist, brought him to Michigan.
Oh,
that was kind of fun. And but I have spoken to that team before.
Hell yeah.
O's is
mind blowing, right?
Yeah, it's fucked up. I like the things he attempts to do too. Like he can get exposed.
Oh yeah,
crazy.
Like on game.
No. Let me tell you something. Exposed. Here's the great part.
No, what I'm saying is he can get it wrong. No, this is what because I was there on game day. What he fucking did to me, I was like, that was an aggressive take.
Oh yeah.
He was like, didn't you have another one though? Like he even called me out on like, you were fucking with me, which I 100% was. I'm like, what? You know what I mean? I'm like, what? And then he's like, no, you had another one too, right? And I was like, Ace of Spades. He's like, yeah. He even caught me trying to fuck with him on live TV in front of a bunch of people. I'm like, God, that's
this guy's good. He sets you up. He sets you up to make you think that he's going to get it wrong when he's not. Like, again, as I've been with him the last couple of summers when we've gone around to the NFL teams, and I will not forget, we were with our producer, Harry Hawkins, we're in Green Bay, and he's 3 acts in, and he is blowing their minds, and all of a sudden Aaron Jones gets pissed off, and he stands up. He goes, man, we're getting played here. And he goes, what are you talking about? He goes, we're getting played. He goes, tell me my childhood nickname. And Oz walks up to him and he goes, does anybody in this room know your childhood nickname? He goes, nobody. Oz walks to the front of the room, gets a piece of paper, writes down something on the paper. He says, what's your childhood nickname, Aaron? And he goes, Booby. And he flips open the paper and says, Booby. Now, how the hell could he do that?
Oz could have been thinking about.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, he could have just been like, all right, I'm going to go on. I'm going to write my favorite thing on here. You know?
No, listen, we're not moral. Like, there's something to this. But as somebody who's watched it and paid attention, I cannot figure it out. I'm too stupid to figure it out.
He was live on game day with us.
Yeah.
Live. And I'm like, this is aggressive. Like, as I'm sitting there, I'm getting anxiety. You said he makes people think he's going to get it wrong. I was starting to get, like, anxiety. I'm like, oh, no, how am I going to play this off?
They're going to ruin this guy.
When this guy, you know what I mean? That's like what I'm thinking. And then he just bang, bang, pow. Is like,
hey, let me tell you something else about
Later almost didn't work.
He's crazy. Like, he's crazy. Last summer, he and I were going to Seattle together. He was performing for the Seahawks. And so the 2 days before, he ran. Do you know about his running abilities? He ran from the Hamptons to New York City. It was like some 100-mile jog that he went on the day before. And then he just gets on the plane the next day. Like, I would have been on a wheelchair. They would have been carrying me in the wheelchair, and I would not have been able to walk. And this guy ran 100-plus miles from the Hamptons to Manhattan, and he gets on the plane the next day to go perform.
The Hamptons are 100 miles from New York. I thought that's where, like, all you New Yorkers go.
Yeah.
You just go to the Hamptons.
That's why.
95
You never been there, Pat?
To where?
He ran right there. That dot, Southampton, there it is. So what does it say? 95.1 miles. Yeah. But yeah, about 100 miles.
What?
Yeah, ridiculous.
I've never been to the Hamptons. No, surprise. Never been to the Hamptons. Yeah, surprise.
Beautiful this time of year.
You and the crew, you guys got to come out to my house and play golf out here. I think you guys can go out to the Hamptons for the day. Like, you know, you go out for a couple hours. You know, a couple hours away. It's something.
Shefty, you got a house at the Hamptons? You got a house out there?
No, I don't have a house in the Hamptons. Although I got a fun story. It's too long. Oh boy.
We got nothing but time, Shefty. You almost broke earlier trying to almost giving us piece of information.
Okay. I'm going to tell you, this is a great story.
Yeah. Whoa. Hate that. Hate that you said this is a great story. Just want to let you know, as a natural, like, okay. Now you're being judged against great story. Could have been average story, but now it's like, okay, buckle up. Great story.
This is a pretty good story. Okay.
There you go.
So when I moved from Denver and married my wife, she owned her house, and I took the money that I had owned my house in Colorado, and I bought a house out in Sag Harbor, which is out in the Hamptons, Pat. Okay? So my wife and I were getting married. Hold on. We were getting married. Okay. We go away for 3 nights, and on the last night of our honeymoon, we watch a movie that Nora Ephron wrote called Heartburn. And that's a movie about her then husband, Carl Bernstein, of Watergate fame, maybe one of the most famous reporters of all time, how he cheated on her with another woman while she was pregnant, and they wound up, their marriage broke up, and it was a movie that she put together called Heartburn. My wife loved the movie. We watched it the last night of our honeymoon, the only movie we saw. We go out the next day to spend our first morning. It's about Carl Bernstein cheating his wife. We go out to the house in Sag Harbor. My wife arranges for a bunch of furniture deliveries and it's just typical chaos that's going on in my house always. But it was in our new house in Sag Harbor. The first morning we're there, the night after our honeymoon, when we watched the story about Carl Bernstein. I hear a knock on the door. I open the door. Guy goes, do you live here? I said, yes. We just moved in this morning. What's your name? Carl Bernstein. I said, the Carl Bernstein? He said, I guess.
What?
He was not happy with the noise in the neighborhood with all the deliveries and wanted us to cut it out. So literally we went from watching a movie about the guy to having the guy knocking at our front door the next morning.
Okay. So why'd you sell it? Because he was out boinking everybody and your wife was like, that's you signed?
Basically, honestly, my wife was not pleased living next door to him and the ruckus that he created. So we wound up selling the house after about a year.
Not only is that guy slinging dick everywhere, he's a madman in the neighborhood.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you don't come into Bernstein's neighborhood and not say hello. I think that's his biggest I think that's his biggest problem. That is a good story. That's a small world.
Did you
Why
tell
you
him?
guys watching that on
Did you tell him about the night before, Schefty? Did you tell him how crazy it was that he was at your door?
So we just watched a story about you cheating on your wife while she was pregnant. That's a classy thing to do, right?
We'll keep it down, though. Thanks.
We'll keep it down.
That's a good one.
Schefty, what a life, dude.
Yeah.
What a life. And you still journal every day, right?
Every day.
How much time does that take you, and how in depth are you? Are you like going to be one on
You know what?
McAfee Show?
I wrote about my trip to Kansas City on the flight home. That's right. It's therapeutic. It's I can't imagine not doing it. I have every single day documented since 1990. Every single day.
Wow.
And what are the filing cabinets? How do we
in the cloud?
What is you handwrite every one of them?
It's in my computer.
Oh, so we're typing. Okay, saved up in the cloud. So we'll never lose it. Somebody's going to hack in there and find out about 1992.
Yeah, careful.
That was what a year that was.
Oh, I bet.
What happened then?
I bet. All right, I appreciate the hell out of you. Ladies and gentlemen, Adam Schefter.
Yes,
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. That would freak me out a little bit.
Bernstein?
Why are you watching that movie on a honeymoon? That feels like
a
bad
bad
one.
That's wild.
That can't be. You can't be having heartbreak films. On honeymoon.
Last night, too.
Yeah, like, you know what? On our way out of here, let's watch about this fucking asshole. Yeah. Anytime I'm watching something and the husband does something terrible, it is like, come on, man. Come on, you got me some shit right now.
The hell?
You know, anytime I'm watching something and like the wife fucks up, I'm like, hell yeah. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it, but I'm very thankful that that's happening right now. Oh, is that right? You know, one of those maybe. As we're heading to the bathroom. Used to do that a lot with Dateline.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because Dateline is like basically husband kill wife, wife kill husband, third lover kill both of them.
Yep.
That's pretty much the game. And you can find out quickly. Boy, when you start watching one of those episodes and it's the wife, thank God.
Ding, ding, ding.
Husband's a hero. This guy works hard. Yeah, this is good night. This is going to be a good 2 hours. This is going to be a good 2 hours.
Gone Girl is kind of the one movie that has both, where both people are terrible people.
Oh, yeah.
I think Gone Girl, I've heard about it. She sets him up, right?
Yeah, but and he's also the cheater. So he's a scumbag cheater, but she, psychopath, frame, ruin your life, go to jail forever.
Interesting. I've never seen it. I do wonder how, maybe me and the wife should sit down and watch it just to see how I feel while watching it with her, you know what I mean?
Only watch it once. It's the entire reason I'll never get married.
You know, I also don't love that some of my wife's friends gift her books where the wife just kills the husband in the book.
What the hell is that happening?
Like what kind of
What book is that? Yeah.
I don't love it.
You're going to love this one. You're going to love how she kills her husband in this one.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it'll get delivered, and then, like, I'll, like, look at the book. I'm like, obviously, I've never heard of that. I'll, like, search, what's the storyline? Dead husband. Okay. Who gifted that to you? Just so I know who it was. See one of those books show up with a big smile from the friend. You're gonna love this one. Like, whoa. Are you gonna love this one, or what are we? They're good tales. They're good tales. Okay. Well, how come the husband's always dead?
What's going on here?
What the fuck is going on?
Who are these writers?
What is the deal? There's this one writer who's really. There's a couple real good murder mystery books, I think is what they're called.
Mm-hmm.
That was a whole genre there for a while.
Oh yeah.
The Hardy Boys.
Jeff and Matt.
Yes.
Essentially, yeah. Except they're detectives, and there's 3 of them.
I don't think I know what you're talking about.
That was the detective as a kid for me.
Talking about The Outsiders?
Growing up. No, The Outsiders is the Socs and the Ponyboy, Dallas, all those guys. But
Greasers.
Greasers. The
Stay Golden Ponyboy.
There it is. The Hardy Boys was like 3 brothers, detectives, kind of go do like a Scooby-Doo type thing. Go somewhere.
Scooby-Doo had a fucking
hell of a run.
Hell of a run.
Uh-huh.
Still getting quoted.
Oh, yeah.
Scooby-Doo. Remember how much money they had to make so much money.
Yeah, well, people go back through those shows and they talk a lot about how Fred and Daphne, they partner up a lot.
Yes,
and
they
sneak
do.
off and they don't get much done except for crushing cheeks together. And really, it's Scooby and Shaggy and Velma doing all the dirty work.
Oh, really? I didn't know that there was potential.
Tons.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
There's actually a meme this weekend that was going like, Jesus, Fred was in his bag here, and he had this elaborate plan to get himself alone with Daphne.
I saw a deputy getting sworn in. There was a meme this weekend as well. The internet really was doing its thing.
A lot of homers
this weekend. Speaking of the
What
internet,
happened?
we had just everything.
You just guys see.
You just got to be on the internet. Basically, you just got to be on the internet. There was some breaking news on the internet while we were live here. Zach Wilson. He is officially ruled out, I do believe, for another week.
Yep.
So Trevor Siemian is going to be the quarterback again after a big-time win for him. Got a chance to hang with him. He's a good boy.
Dog.
He's a good time.
Yeah, he likes to have a good time.
Siemian was a good time. We enjoyed the hell out of him. But game against the Browns now. Siemian will start, and Zach Wilson's out. So who's the other quarterback?
Is Trafolsky coming back?
No, they got rid of that other guy.
Boyle.
Boyle's gone.
Yep.
Is Aaron Rodgers the backup quarterback Thursday?
Emergency quarterback?
If he's still active, right?
And how's that work? Active, they'll have him be a healthy scratch. They must have another quarterback on the roster. Must.
Or maybe they don't. And they just know,
Brett Rippon.
hey, Flacco's going to beat
Brett
the shit out
Rippon's
of
on
us.
the roster.
Brett Rippon. All right, Brett Rippon's going to be the backup.
He was
Randall
slinging
can
it
throw.
earlier this year. Yeah.
Randall did in college.
Oh, yeah. He's a lefty, right?
Yeah, Randall could be the emergency backup.
So you got Brett Rippon, Randall Cobb, and Siemian taking on Cleveland Browns on Thursday night.
In Cleveland.
Oh, the dog pound's going to be barking.
Uh-huh.
Before we get out of here, can we get an update on the Quick Lane Bowl, Tone Diggs, that is playing right now on ESPN, which we are going to go watch?
It is currently 9-7 Minnesota. 7 minutes remaining in the second quarter. So the scoring has slowed down quite a bit, but they're still balling.
Yeah, they are. And it seems like somebody jumped offside. You can't do that.
Come on, guys.
Can't do that, Can't do that.
Shot. Watch him taking a shot here, right? D-Butt, we're in the alumni zone.
Oh, yeah, maybe here. Especially coming off
second and 15 now, probably a screen draw.
It might be part of the plan, though.
Not in the Quick Lane Bowl.
Yeah, quick line, screen draw, get back on track. Especially offense stinks.
Bowling Green being brown and orange always confused me.
The classic Ohio.
It says green right there, isn't it?
Minnesota helmets are sweet, though.
Well, PJ Fleck's going to have the boys in the boat.
Yeah, and of course they're rowing. They're not thinking about school.
Second and 15 here in the second quarter. Down 2. What will Bowling Green do with it? Drop back from... Oh!
no.
Welcome to 3rd and 30, says Joyner. Look how cool he looks.
Yeah.
Sting didn't get a nice ass pat on the way. Bowling Green, same exact look from the last play. Quarterback Baslik is up. Atta baby.
Here we go.
Way to bounce back. That's what they say about Boslick. Hey, bounce back Boslick is what they say, isn't it, AJ?
That is what I have heard, definitely.
See that
But
water
I want to know, who did they beat out, though? They're 5-7 Minnesota, but Tone said they had the best grade, so they're playing in the bowl game. Was there like a competition with other schools?
Yeah, so I believe Rice was the team last year that got in on the 5-7 for the bowl games for the academic situation.
Is it like overall GPA, or what is it? Do we know?
The exact terminology is... Hold on.
I mean, it doesn't matter that much, but...
Highest academic progress rate. I don't know what that means.
They used to be dumb, but they're real smart this year.
Yep, putting it together.
We kept a few guys, I think most programs keep a few guys on there to keep that
What's that
GPA
mean?
up.
Oh.
What do you mean?
You have to. You got to.
It's guys that'll never see the field,
right.
but they're good boys.
Yeah, they are. They are good boys, especially in the classroom. Hey, man, you're in my class that I'm in? Yeah, I'm not going to be there, but I'm going to need you to, let me know when tests are and stuff like that so I don't miss it. Well, why don't I not do it? Well, I don't know. You starting kicker and punter or no?
You tell
All
me.
right, thank you.
Boom. See you later.
Yeah, academic All-American, we appreciate that. You know what I mean? We appreciate that. I do apologize, man. You just have to tell me when they're checking classes too, please. That would be great.
Pretty simple.
If you could give me a heads up, that would be very, very cool. This ain't fair. This ain't fair at all. I agree. I don't like it, but I ain't going to be sitting in here. That just isn't how this is going to go. All right, this is Overreaction, Aaron Rodgers Tuesday. Yeah. So we have to test the waters of what's going on around the internet. Sent out the bird call this morning about 10:30. That's on me. It's on my normal Tuesday routine. I should have sent that out a little bit earlier. Still went. Still people participated. Ty, how was it this week?
Yeah, still got a lot of good ones because, again, there are teams that have been playing pretty shitty and then are now starting to perform a little bit better. Everyone's basically still in the playoff race, so a lot of people invested.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for... I don't want to overreact, but... Remember, as we're reading these overreactions, 24 teams still in the mix. Let's go to the first one here. This is from Mark at Shark1990. This guy's 33 years old. Hashtag I don't want to overreact, but Joe Flacco should have been in the Browns uniform years ago. Obviously, hindsight is 2020, but he's proven week after week to be an absolute dog. I haven't been this optimistic about a playoff push ever in my life, even with half the squad on IR. Hashtag Browns. Feels like Mark is an overreacting guy, AJ Hawk.
No, but don't you feel like, hey, I feel like this is the perfect time and place for Joe Flacco. If this was a couple years ago and Joe was on the team, we don't know. Maybe it wouldn't have the same magic to it. So I think Joe's exactly where he should be, and it's right at the perfect time.
And Deba, Joe Flacco's enjoying the hell. He said he feels like a 10-year-old with these boys.
Yeah, he's spinning it. Great athlete still. And he's 38, so he's not that old. We see quarterbacks playing into their 40s now. So 38 has some time off, and like AJ said, perfect situation.
His arm is as live as ever, right?
Yeah.
But sorry to cut you off. His arm feels like it's
rope.
It's unbelievable. Like I said earlier in the show, like that dude is putting the ball on a rope.
I'm sure that rest, not getting all them reps, not throwing, just chilling, now getting thrown in the middle of the season. He's in perfect shape right now.
What has Aaron told us about throwing the ball? Yeah, I'll always be able to throw a ball.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco, always, right? Super strong arm. That's like what he's kind of
done it. Some guys when they throw, it looks like they got to torque their whole body. He's Joe Cool. It's just super smooth all the time.
Yeah, he is Joe Cool.
True. I don't think I'm being sarcastic at all because long rivalry with the Steelers. Watched a lot of Joe Flacco in my life. This is by far the best he's ever been.
Yep.
In the regular season.
Even the Super Bowl run.
I don't know about that.
Did you see some of those balls, though, Mari?
Yeah.
Not that he didn't do that in the past, but it's like right now, it's like everything he's doing is good.
Yeah.
He would always give you one, too, which I guess he did a couple weeks ago. But
no, he had two this last. I think he has
he's
6 or 7
Yeah, he's thrown 7 picks.
He will give you some.
Well, if you live in the paint, you're going to get dunked on eventually. But yeah, I agree with what you're saying. And maybe it's because we're victims of the moment every time, all the time. It's Overreaction Tuesday now instead of Overreaction Monday. And then we'll overreact tomorrow as well to something. But it's like, yeah, Joe Flacco looks better than he's ever looked.
Yep.
That's how I genuinely feel. Why not the Browns? Why not? Let's go to another overreaction here. Here's from Mario A. Esquivel. Or Esquivel. Esquivel?
I like a squeevel.
That's cool.
Squeevel, yeah.
At Small Town Bro or Small Twin Bro. So don't know if he has a larger twin or if he is from Jason Aldean's
Small Town.
Small Town. Hashtag I don't want to overreact, but the Chiefs receivers aren't just the problem. They're part of the problem. The Mahomes problem. Minus Juju, this is the same offense as last year. He's regressing. It's time to admit it. Instead of blanketing him with excuses.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Heard a few excuses.
Who?
Coming from about 5 feet to my left.
No, it was 70 miles.
Gus.
He had the
flu.
Yeah, his tummy 1 week. Now it's the wind the other week.
He had to shoot a commercial, too. I mean,
whose fault's that?
Huh?
Whose fault's that?
Oh, sorry, you don't want a guy succeed.
I want him to make as much money as possible, but if they're...
I'm not saying he ever had to shoot a commercial, but there's enough excuses to go around, okay, for Patrick Mahomes and what he's proven us to be.
Travis take a helmet to the neck.
I did see that. I think he pinched him.
Yeah. No, he's getting his pulse sucked on, if you will.
His what?
His pulse. His pulse.
Pulse.
Where his pulse is, he's getting his pulse sucked on. What's wrong with that?
If you will.
No one thought you said pulse.
Well, I did. I said pulse. He's getting his pulse sucked
That's
on.
a hell of a way to say it, though.
Yeah.
Is that how they?
His carotid, he's getting his carotid sucked on.
That's how they say it in my small hometown. Or should I say our?
It did look like he had a hickey right there on his neck.
It did.
And that made me think, him and Taylor are just having fun.
Yeah.
They're adults.
ELE.
Sucking necks.
How about what's going on?
Having fun.
What's going on in Taylor's head is she is forced to put her arm around Brittany Mahomes and pretend like that matters.
Hate to break this to you. This does not matter. We still got a lot of football left, Brittany.
Yep. We got cool hats.
We do. We're in a sweet. You know what I mean? We got a lot going on.
It's Christmas.
Already got a couple rings.
Taylor Swift's like,
I could buy this team probably
Yeah.
if I wanted to.
You know what the next step is? We own a team. What are we going to do? 2 more world tours.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Deal.
That's it.
Good.
Or just release another copy of your world tour you just did of a movie.
I saw an email that got sent to the company today. As soon as you talk about Taylor, I'm fucking leaving. Okay? I started laughing as I was reading it. I was like, people got real upset about her there for a while. She became the story, though.
Yeah.
Which I think a lot
Not
of football
anymore,
fans thought it was. Not anymore. It's just
No,
like
it's fun now.
she's part of the football community.
Yeah. She's the face of the NFL.
See, that's why people get. What's your problem?
Big deal.
Ty, you're part of
I
the
don't know
problem.
what you're talking
No,
about.
I
She's
ain't.
the face of the NFL.
She's certainly the most popular human that is associated with the NFL.
Yes.
And I would like to follow up saying, I think she's really falling in love with football.
Me too.
She's like genuinely getting mad and upset and screaming and stuff. I like watching it. Welcome to football, Taylor.
Oh, welcome.
Welcome to football.
Welcome.
Now, people are saying with your addition, they haven't played as good. But I would like you to all look at Travis's stats from the first few weeks.
Yeah.
He was his best games of the year for all of them. So that's
One man getting a pass here that hasn't been talked about.
Matt.
Brett Veach.
Oh.
Yeah.
Didn't pay Chris Jones, let him sit out week 1. Didn't pay Orlando Brown. Their O-line stinks. Thought he could have Sky Moore as wide receiver too. Like, thought he beat the game.
He had too much success too early. Thought he had it all figured out. We can let Tyreek go. We just won another Super Bowl. Yeah. We can let Orlando go. We just let Tyreek go. We won a Super Bowl. You think that's potentially happening, Gumpsh?
That's what it looks like to me. They're just not the same team. They got no weapons. They got nothing. Mahomes hasn't been the same, but if you got no weapons, what are you going to do?
You know what? Mahomes got to be better, all right? And the offense, it starts with the offensive
Ravens
line.
D, but
It starts with the offensive line.
He's got better weapons
The
than
offensive
Lamar.
line is terrible, but if we all watched the
What was
game,
that?
and there were throws Mahomes missed that we
Agreed.
never see him miss.
70 mile an hour.
That's his home stadium.
Flu.
We know his record in December, in January. That's not an excuse. We don't give Josh Allen that excuse. He plays outside. Lamar plays outside. He's got to play better. I'm sure he'll say it. The offensive line got to play better. You know,
Patrick Mahomes
Everything's
wishes
so
somebody
fun.
other than Aiden O'Connell was on the other side.
Yeah.
Aiden O'Connell threw for what, 14 yards?
62 yards.
All in the first quarter.
14 yards. Didn't have a completion afterwards. It looked like the Buffalo New England Patriots game from a few years back, where Bill Belichick wore the Navy mask to basically say, "We're running triple option tonight."
Yep.
That's because that's how windy it was. That's how windy it was. A couple balls skipping on that win.
What can they do though? What can they do to get back on track? It's just weird. It's just it's weird watching them play.
What's your problem?
They're done. I mean,
I
it
do
just
fear they're
happens
done.
sometimes.
Sorry.
Last night scared me, bro. That did. I'm a Chiefs apologist.
Very afraid to say it though.
Very afraid.
Oh yeah, for sure, because they can. It's still Patrick
One
Mahomes
game.
injury. They can turn it around.
Last night we thought there was a chance.
Yeah.
With how dominant the Raiders were and how terrible the Chiefs were, it was like, hold the phone. They just scored a touchdown. All we need is one more.
The Chiefs in the past, so that 20-14, 2:47 left. Like in the past, they get a stop and Pat immediately goes down and scores.
And then there's a fool.
Yeah.
And I think they toss a microphone at Taylor. She starts singing.
Yep.
Dead.
All right, let's go to another
Was
overreaction.
Mark Davis there?
I assume he was. Lighting up Stoke in the Chiefs locker room. That had to feel so good.
That's why they lost.
Steven Stew at Grampus GG. Okay. Hashtag I don't want to overreact, but Nick Sirianni has lost his swagger during this skid. He's angry and frustrated, but he's not showing the same suck it emotion he showed in the tunnel after the win in Kansas City. If the Eagles want any chance of winning a playoff game, he needs his mojo back. I agree, Ty.
Yeah, so do I. I mean, you know, we were seeing, what was it? I can't remember if it was the Chiefs game where he looked right at the camera and basically said, like, suck my dick! You know, like after they won, like, don't hear you anymore, Chiefs Kingdom, Chiefs Queendom, the coach, Coach JB, but he's not the same guy. He's not the same guy right now, and he needs to kind of look inward and kind of realize, like, hey, we're best when I'm talking shit, when I'm looking at the camera and doing,
Or does he win because he talks shit, or does he talk shit because he wins? And they win yesterday.
question.
They get a big win. They did not look,
They don't
to
look
Tone's
good.
point. Everybody's watching that game and go, yeah, they won, but a lot of that with the Eagles.
No, but Sirianni at the end of the game, there was a lot of he wasn't yelling at another player, but yeah, there was a lot of there was not a very confident vibe coming from him.
I think we all realize what's going on here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Big Dahn?
Yeah.
Bingo.
Part of it. It's definitely part of it.
You're looking over your shoulder every other play. How's he supposed to focus on the game and have that swagger without Big Dahn?
And how is Big Dom allowed to walk the boys to the locker room, but he's not allowed to walk the boys from the locker room?
That was a bad decision on Rodgers' part.
It was.
There's no reason for it.
What's Raj doing this year? That's who he should
That's why he doesn't come on this.
Taking Christmas.
That's why he doesn't come on this show.
Because we're going to say, why'd you do that,
No,
Big Dom?
too many Italians. He doesn't like Italians.
Whoa, just going to piece that together here.
Yeah,
that could be the case.
He's from. Well, he went to college in Western PA. Maybe a couple of Italians roughed him up.
Is Ray Rice Italian?
On his mother's side, maybe.
He could be.
Could feel like.
I don't think he is.
No?
I don't think so.
If he was, what does that mean?
Let's get to another overreaction. We don't need to go back in time. Spaceships don't come equipped with rear view mirrors.
Amen.
They dip. Miguel Lopez at Mighty Migs 1391. Hashtag I don't want to overreact, but the Niners are overrated.
Whoa.
Purdy is a jag, just another guy. Niners can only win when things go their way. Where's the bad win? The win where everything goes wrong, but they manage to pull it off. Oh, yeah, it ain't there. They will lose in the first round of the playoffs. Great storytelling, Miguel. Appreciate you doing that. Really, genuinely appreciate that. We saw that stat or heard that stat from Lombo.
Yeah.
What is Kyle Shanahan?
38 or something?
38 now.
Real bad.
When they don't have the lead in the fourth quarter, going into the fourth quarter? That's a bad stat. That's a bad stat. What is that?
It was pretty apparent, though, when Trent Williams exit the lineup with what groin whatever's got going on. Their team was a little bit different, I feel like, how they could protect. But, I mean, Baltimore turned them over, 5 times? 5 picks. Like that does not happen very often. 4 by Brock Purdy. That was nuts.
Well, and also 2 of those, though. It's
damn near 3.
I mean,
it's from, like Kyle Hamilton's play. When Hamilton got smashed into the ground and then got up and got a pick, like that's a play like I show my kids, watch this dude. Look, dude, submarined on top of him, jammed his face mask into the ground, but he gets up and has a hustle play. Like you run to the ball, good things happen. And I feel like that's what we're watching offensively and defensively when you see the Ravens play.
Kyle Hamilton went from potential CTE to INT.
Yeah.
One play.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about out here.
I think they kind of hurt themselves, too. They stopped running the ball as much. They had some success, but if you get in a one-dimensional game with any good defense, especially that defense, and then obviously Trent goes down, that doesn't help. I think his backup went down as well, but you can't just be dropping back with those guys having their ears picked back. I mean, it was third quarter, 13 minutes left, and they were just drop back passing. Like they were down, I think, 18 points, but you still got to have some type of balance in your offense. You can't be a drop back team and against that defense at least.
Let's go to another overreaction, shall we? Here's from Mike Strickland. Hashtag I don't want to overreact, but the Baltimore Ravens showed complete dominance last night. Mike Florio can suck it. Best defense in the league, best quarterback in the league. Crown him, says Mike Strickland. A lot of this from Ravens fans?
Yeah. A lot of Mike Flores, et cetera. And then the other big Ravens ones were basically like, hey, although we are unbelievable, please, we cannot play the Browns in the playoffs because we all know what's like. Joe Flacco is going to beat us if we play them in the playoffs.
Joe Flacco versus the Ravens in the playoffs. Matthew Stafford versus the Lions potentially in the playoffs. So many storylines. Let's go to another overreaction. This is from Kyle Shatraw at Fluffy Shats. Kid's a little overweight, but fun.
Yep. Yeah.
That time of year again, the Cowboys make their fans hate themselves for being loyal Cowboys fans. Just when we think it'll be different this year, they're like that ex that keeps coming back claiming they've changed, and our dumbasses believe them again. Hashtag I don't want to overreact. But, Kyle, I think Dolphins are just a good team. I think that's what you need to know. Good teams are going to happen.
I didn't think the Cowboys played bad. Like, I didn't walk away from that game thinking the Cowboys don't have a chance at the Super Bowl or anything like that. And actually, I thought it was huge for Tua and Dak because they both had drives late in the game. I think Dak had like a 16-play drive that was huge. That was, I think, is huge for them going forward. And then Tua answered. I didn't walk.
It was a good football game.
Yeah.
It was a good football game. Let's go to another overreaction, shall we? This is from Shambrow at Sham Bra. Hashtag I don't want to overreact, but the Dolphins aren't losing again in the regular season. Long dong, Jason Sanders and Tua leading us to the promised land of a first-round bye. Hell yeah, Gumps. Hell yeah, Grumps. You all feel that way about Sham Bra, about the Dolphins?
Going to be tough to go into Baltimore and win right now, but 2-0 against the Ravens, so.
We get a chance to see.
Yeah.
Just like we did with the Niners, now we get a chance to see again with the Ravens. It's been a fun run for the Ravens. They're playing a lot of good teams.
Oh, yeah.
And they've been winning against a lot of good teams when football matters. Well, the Dolphins continue to do the same. We'll watch on Hard Knocks, too.
That's right.
Yeah, can't wait.
Let's go to another overreaction, shall we? This is from Red Lasso at Lasso_Red. Hashtag I don't want to overreact, but Rudolph the Red-Nosed QB is what Pittsburgh's been waiting for. And it was under the whole time. He was there with Big Ben. He's the only guy on the offense who knows what it means to be a Steeler. If we can avoid Myles Garrett, we have a real shot. Agreed, Red.
Yeah, good bar.
Yeah, I agree too. I have a rejuvenated belief in this team, and it's all because of Mason and what he. What's this guy's problem?
Tone, just watching Tone speak of the Steelers, it's
What's this
unbelievable.
guy's problem?
Your attitude towards the Steelers, and the roller coaster of life that you were on.
Hey,
What do I say?
Does winning not cure all?
I love and respect Tone's attitude and everything about the Steelers, but it's got to be like I feel like Tone's gonna have a heart attack 4 to 5 times a day thinking about the Steelers.
Yeah, he's committed, but right now they're riding high, so that's good. Thank you to all the people that participated in the overreactions.
Hell yeah.
Way to look through those, Ty. We have some breaking news out of Minnesota. It's not good. TJ Hawkinson out, torn ACL and MCL. Time will tell if he's able to be ready for the start of 2024. A brittle injury. Hate that. So sorry about that. Breaking news out of Ian Rappaport's Twitter account. Hell of a year, TJ.
Why'd the Lions do that to him? They trade him and then they take his knees out?
I like TJ Hawkinson.
That's classic.
Dog.
That's classic Dan Kleinberg.
He can't be that. Who?
Dan Campbell.
All right. That's not what you said.
I thought you said caramel.
He did bite a knee, though, didn't he?
Yep.
Got both sides.
We took a trip back in time earlier to January 21st, 2021, AJ. I don't know if you got a chance to see that.
I did.
1/21/21 was when it all changed up there in Detroit. They were a laughing stock, and now what? NFC North champions.
That's right.
Suck it.
Champs.
Sometimes you got to slay a few dragons like that opening press conference and others before you get to the princess.
Yep.
And you guys are at the princess right now with that crown being handed right over from Green Bay right to Detroit.
Yep. Lifetime contract. Sign it, MCDC.
How much you guys paying him? 15 mil, I heard, is what Jim Harbaugh is good.
20. Make it 20. Why not?
I like that.
Yeah.
Ooh, congratulations. Lifetime
yeah.
20 million. That's probably going to get up to 500 million at some point.
Yep.
Yeah.
How young he is.
Yeah, for
Super
sure.
jock still.
Yeah.
Super jocked.
In shape.
AJ, they're the new kings of the North. So
They are. Hey, until somebody takes that crown, you're right. They are.
on that note, let's get the hell out of here. We'll be back tomorrow with a good one.
Huge.
I think we got Barry Sanders on tomorrow.
Let's go.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
It's awesome.
Speaking of the Detroit Lions, cannot wait to chat with him.
Yes, sir.
Where's he
Wichita
from?
legend.
Yes, he is.
There it
He
is.
is.
Yes, he is. A Wichita
There's
legend.
a
boy,
hesitation
T-Butt.
still.
How hard is that?
It's tough. Every time.
Every time. I think Wichita, too, first.
Every time.
It's Wichita.
Beautiful place.
Absolute legend.
man.
He'll join us. We got others as well. What's up?
I'm just thinking now, I don't know why I didn't put this together. When D-Butt lived in Massachusetts when he was playing for the Patriots, you must have just had no clue what these town names were.
Nah, you know
Worcester.
what?
Gloucester.
We got a lot of Native American town names down in Florida.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Helps.
Sure.
Helps.
There is a lot down there in Florida.
whole lot.
Seminoles, right? Seminoles are the. I did a tour of like the Seminole Hall of Fame or museum or something. I forget what it was.
Near the casino?
Fucking dogs, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Weapons.
Business wise,
Oh, yeah.
smart.
They go.
They are like the story of what and how and where and how it all got set up. It's like, damn, these folks are smarter than everybody.
They know what they're doing.
Which is why they were able to get their own sports book down there in Florida.
Bingo.
Yeah, he just got it back running, too.
Yeah, and I don't even know if they want it to run, but they're like, that money ain't enough for us not to run it. And until then, you guys are going to have to figure it out. We'll do it. The Seminoles We need them potentially negotiating deals for like our country.
Okay.
We need to think about that going forward. All right, we'll be back tomorrow. We can't thank you enough for spending this day after Christmas with us. We're going to go watch the Quick Lane Bowl.
Yeah.
Woo! We're going to go watch Quick Lane Bowl.
Hell yeah.
Bowling Green, Minnesota, battling it out in Detroit. We'll be back tomorrow with a big one. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change your life. Happy holidays. Remember, we're on time of reflection. Life is good. We're alive. Goodbye.